What up, YouTube?
Dolly and PG, I could literally watch you both doing anything you make.
Thank you. Well, it didn't read that out loud because I didn't share my screen, but it says, Renee says, good evening, Dolly and PJ. I could literally watch you both doing anything. You make me feel like family. Love you both, and thank you. Can I have a seat, please? Welcome on the Dolly train. Usually people let me do my intro first, but since you're ready to get on, you're ready to get on that Dolly train today. I have missed you guys. I haven't been up here much, right? Because we've been really busy this weekend. We did the Tidewater Horror Convention, so me and PJ was out there for 3 days, hanging out, meeting a lot of cool, really nice people, selling tumblers and Dolly soap and all kinds of greatness, right? But today, we got some important stuff to talk about. You know, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right? Which is horrible. Today, I seen people in my area standing on the corners, holding signs that said, I am Charlie Kirk. And I didn't realize how much it affected everybody in this country. But oh my God, I've never seen nothing like this. This random people standing on the corners holding signs. Young white males, okay? A lot of people related to this man and listen to what he said like the damn gospel. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. But first, I'm going to need your DNA on that like button just in case a sniper comes for you, okay? I'm going to be out there looking from the high grounds to make sure nobody gets you, but I'm going to need your DNA on file to do that, okay? If you want that type of protection from Dolly, okay, then I'm going to need that DNA. Leave your fingerprints and your DNA all over that like button, just like Tyler Robinson did on that screwdriver and on that towel that he had that gun wrapped in. I'm going to need your DNA just like that. And if you're brand new out there, okay, and I'm talking to you watching that hasn't hit that subscribe button yet, I don't know what the hell you waiting for. It don't get no better than this on YouTube. So sub up the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, feel free to share this ugly face right here anywhere you want. Okay, anywhere you damn want, you can share it. Oh, it's free this week, absolutely free. So, like I said, there's a lot of new information coming out. Let me give my warnings first. Okay, Dolly Vision is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories mixed with some comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as a fact. Just my opinion, people. All right. Completely satire. The callers tonight, and we're going to open up the phone lines. Guys, I want you to be respectful. Let's keep this in true crime and not go all political tonight. This is not a political channel. This is a true crime channel. So we're talking about the crime, the court, the motive, all that type of stuff. Well, it may trickle into a little bit of political stuff. And Rose, thank you for gifting those 5 memberships. And if you got a membership from Rose, make sure you give her a big hug. So the callers tonight, their opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly, okay? And remember, YouTube has rules and regulations that we must abide by, okay?
Even the chat members.
Even the chat members. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is innocent to proven guilty. And let's remember, this is not a conspiracy channel here, people. I know there's a lot of conspiracy already flying around, but we are not a conspiracy channel.
Is he not a real person?
Okay, up church. Be quiet over there. All right. You're supposed to be on your best behavior tonight. Okay. We got female up church over here. Also, the biggest one of them all. Do not, and I repeat, do not try to be Dolly at home. It is dangerous and you could die. All right. Now, I'm definitely not going to be responsible for that. Okay. So we know Tyler Robinson, the shooter, the alleged shooter, but we kind of know he's the shooter. Some people don't even think he's the shooter, but the alleged shooter, we're going to say, he is due in court tomorrow. PJ, do you remember what the charges were?
I can look them up really fast.
Okay,
There's
look.
a handful of them.
Yeah, there was 3 main charges. Aggravated murder, obstruction of justice,
Assault with a deadly weapon.
and assault with a deadly weapon. Look it up. Look it up. But there's some talk that his charges may be raised tomorrow while he's in court to maybe even federal charges. But myself, I don't know what those federal charges would be, but I believe they're going to raise it to capital murder. You know, Utah does have the death penalty. Now, the word is from the governor of Utah is he is not being cooperative. He's not cooperating, right? Even though he turned himself in, he has not confessed to the police. Key word, to the police.
Aggravated murder, felony, discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice.
Aggravated murder, discharge of a weapon, and what was the third one? What was the third one?
Obstruction of justice.
Obstruction of justice. I don't know how he got the obstruction of justice. He actually turned himself in. He didn't. His dad did. Well, his dad talked him into turning himself in. Okay, that's how it's being worded. That the father spoke with him because the father seen him on the news. The father seen the pictures that the FBI released, and the father convinced him, hey, do the right thing. Turn yourself in. So the father didn't call in on him and tell on him. He literally turned himself in, okay? But once he's been in custody, he hasn't confessed to committing the crime. He just turned himself in. Now, we've seen the videos that surfaced of him jumping off the building. We're aware that they found a weapon in the woods. But one thing that has puzzled me, and like I said, I'm not a conspiracy channel. There could be maybe one of the callers can explain this to me. How did the police, and I repeat, how did the police and the FBI find this gun in the woods when it appeared, when the person that allegedly jumped off the building, and you ever notice we live in 2025, and every time something is caught on surveillance camera, it looks like it was caught from a camera from 1942.
The camera was a potato.
Right? A big old potato camera that filmed it, but it could be Bigfoot jumping off a roof. We don't know. It could be the Jack's Lynx Sasquatch. And we did get to meet him and see him at the horror convention. He was there for some crazy reason. Did y'all know this? That the Jack's Lynx, beef jerky, the Bigfoot, also played Freddy Krueger in Freddy versus Jason. And he also played Michael Myers. So the next time you see a Jack's Lynx commercial, that dude plays Freddy and he plays Michael Myers. I don't know which Michael Myers it was. I think it was 5, but he plays Freddy in the Jason versus Freddy. And he's also the Jack's Lynx beef jerky guy. True story. Guy ain't got nothing to do with it. But what I'm saying is it's hard to tell from the video footage of the young man, Tyler, jumping off the roof of the building, if he has a weapon. To me, it appears like when he jumps off this roof, he don't have a weapon. Now, we do know coming into this, what would you call his speech, his gathering, okay? We'll just say the gathering. Coming in, event. Let's just say event. Coming into the event, he had on one set of clothes, and apparently he changed clothes, and then change clothes again, like Superman jumping into a telephone booth. I don't know where the hell was this man changing clothes at in the wide open, and how did he get into the building?
That's a good question.
Right? Where was he changed? There's just certain things that puzzle my mind. Like, how did the gun get in the woods?
Maybe
where did this man change clothes at?
You used to go in the potty on the camping trips, like, and then it pulls up, and then he gets in and changes real fast, like.
I don't know. It's just one of those weird things to me. Is like, where's this man just standing out in the open, switching clothes? Where was he keeping the clothes? Right? Where's the clothes at that he was wearing?
That's a good question.
I know. These are so many things. Now, listen, I'm not even a conspiracy person on this end, right? Because I don't mess with the conspiracy because I've had the feds knock on my door. And I don't like the men in black.
I'm a knock on my door.
Right? So we don't do that anymore here. We're not political. We're not political. We don't care who the president is. Nothing like that. right? But I just point out things that seem strange or odd to me. Okay, backpack where clothes were.
The
Okay,
backpack didn't look that big. You could
It
barely
did.
see the backpack.
yeah, I mean to change your pants and your shirt and your hat and you got a weapon. Where was all this shit at? Okay, like I could understand if he was carrying one of those big green army bags, but what the hell can you fit in a little book bag? I barely look when I fly around. I can barely fit my laptop, mouse, and like my sunglasses in a book bag. Okay, I don't know how he fit all this stuff in there. This is just things that are running through my mind. Okay, so he leaves a screwdriver on the roof of the building with his DNA all over it, apparently, all over the damn screwdriver. What the hell did he need the screwdriver for? Some people say it was to assemble a weapon. I haven't seen too many 30-06s that you can take apart.
I watched a video from an expert on that weapon explain why that was not one that you took apart as easy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Listen, I have been around a fair share of 30-06s as a child. Okay. My granddad used to collect firearms. And I mean, when I mean collect firearms, I mean he had a small arsenal of weapons from Tommy guns to handguns to rifles. And as I was a little kid, he would show them to me and tell me what they were and then never mess with them. Right. You'd also, gun safety stuff when you're a young kid and there's guns in the house. You can't hide nothing from a kid. So you might as well show it to them, tell them it's dangerous, don't touch it, but educate that person on what it is, right? That it can kill you. And so he would show me these guns and tell me what type of guns they are because he was real proud of them because he collected them, right? So he loved it. I don't think he ever shot. I've never seen my granddad shoot a gun or go hunting. He never even talked about going hunting or anything. He was just a collector. He collected coins and gold bullion and just different things, but he was just a collector. But he had, like I said, an arsenal of weapons. And as a kid, one of his proudest weapons was when he got this 30-06 and he had it laying on his bed and he was showing it to me and he was polishing it and cleaning it and just happy to have it. And, he was telling me the difference in types of rifles. This is a long range rifle. A lot of people use it for hunting and snipers. Okay. So the other day when he was shot and I said it sounded like a high caliber weapon, it sounded like a 30-06. Okay. Just from what I learned, that's why I came to that conclusion that snipers use these weapons, and this wasn't a handgun, and this wasn't close, and this had to be a powerful weapon because of the sound. It sounded like a cannon going off, okay? And a lot of people believe that the bullet in slow motion hit his vest and ricocheted into his neck, which ripped through his jugular vein, and we seen blood just like a horror movie. I mean,
well, the carotid is right there. It's the main.
I mean, it was just gushing blood, and in a matter of seconds, he was completely limp, and there wasn't
People are saying that his gun was in his pant leg.
Listen, I don't believe that gun to be in his pants leg. If you ever seen a 30-06, 30-06 is a big ass rifle. This ain't no little rifle. This ain't no little 22. This is a big ass rifle. And I mean, it's possible he could have legged it. I have seen people put rifles into their pants. Forget me not is getting on the train. The Blessed Express is what we call it. Listen, you ain't blessed unless you on the express. You having a shitty day, get on the Dolly train. I'm telling you, tomorrow will completely kick ass. You'd be like, man, I had the best day ever. That Dolly train shit works. Okay. So
the chat is saying that the sheriff said he was not wearing a vest.
That he was, well,
it looked like he might have been, but
if you're out there as a controversial figure, right, and you're not wearing a vest, you're doing yourself
a disservice.
A disservice, right? Even me, I have a vest, right? And if I go certain places, believe it or not, Dolly has a vest on. My vest was just right over there. Is it still there or did I move it?
You moved it.
Okay. Where did I move it
I
to?
don't know.
Right there. Hand it to me.
Is that why you have me in here?
Yes. I mean, listen, you think it's crazy to own something like this, but how important is your life to you, right? If you go somewhere that's an area that shots may ring off.
Yeah, but if he had that on, think about it. Would that have helped him?
With that type of weapon, I believe a 30-06 wouldn't have bounced off the vest. I believe a 30-06 would have stopped.
But it didn't go there. It went above it. You could see it went above what looked like what was supposedly the vest, but it was clearly just a shirt. But it went in above it.
Okay, now in some situations, Dolly goes into really bad areas. Okay. I go into active shootings when people just recently went and a man shot his girlfriend in the head and was on the run. And, I'm a half a block from the house reporting it live. So did I wear my vest that night? I didn't. I probably should have grabbed it. But usually I keep it in the back of my vehicle. So if I go somewhere that's in a hostile environment, I want to at least protect myself.
There's a video of him where he looked like he was limping really bad. That must have been where he had the gun in his pant.
Well, I mean, is that video shot after he jumped off the roof? Because that was a pretty good jump that he made. Before. And what if you had it wouldn't make you limp. It would make you walk with a straight leg.
Yeah, it was like
if you're limping.
It wasn't a limp like that. It was like a gait. It was like he was just dragging a dead leg behind him.
Yeah, then it's possible that he could have had that in there. But how did he get through? How did he get into the building? And how did he get on the roof without nobody seeing him?
I mean, it didn't look that crowded over by the building. It looked crowded to where they were all at.
In the front of the building. Yes, but what about security in the building? You're talking a college campus.
Supposedly, there was only 6 security guards that day.
No, there were 6 police officers that were there that day. The campus has its own security, okay? But they had 6 officers that were at this rally. And we call it rally or event, whatever you want to do it. And there were some that were plain clothes that were in the crowd. There were 6 of them. Campus security has their own campus police. Right. Now, how many did they have? But you got to remember them buildings. Usually when you go in those buildings, there's somebody usually at the front of them buildings, to check college IDs, or if it's a dorm, they're pretty tight on security in colleges because of, like the University of Virginia, right? You remember what happened at the university, but since then they've tightened up security at a lot of these colleges, even Old Dominion down here where we're at. Like there's a lot of security and police that patrol that area. Now you got a guy that changed clothes multiple times, was able to get onto the roof. He didn't jump off that roof with that gun in his pants leg. I can tell you that.
People said they could see the black towel when he jumped down, though.
From what I seen on that video, it did not appear there was somebody jumping off a building with a weapon.
I saw a potato view.
Yeah, and like I said, the camera is so bad that I could be wrong. He may have had a weapon, but it did not appear to me, and this is just my opinion, right, that he had a weapon of anything like that at that time, right? Now, because you see him running, right? You see him running. He walks at first, then he runs, and then he starts to walk again. He's definitely not got a weapon down his pants leg at that time.
Pickle Toe's grandma said he didn't wear a vest. He wore a titanium body armor that covered his chest from waist to collarbone. That makes sense. It's one of those, like, it shapes to your body.
That Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Now they have bulletproof suits. Like like a dress suit. Yes, I was actually going to buy. They got hoodies like I'm wearing right now that are bulletproof.
What?
Yes, absolutely. And different. It depends what plate you're wearing, because like in a bulletproof vest, let's just say for instance, you have these plates. The vest is pretty big, but what's going to stop the bullet is this plate right here. Okay, and this plate will stop like a 357 Magnum at point blank range to the chest. So if somebody walked up with a 357 and, you know, like Dirty Harry, this plate that I got right here will stop that bullet. Okay. But it's all about, there's different grades of plates that you can wear in your vest, depending on the situation, you know. But if somebody's shooting you with a high powered rifle, it's going to go through this vest. It's going to tear through this vest, through my chest, out my back, out the back of the vest, you know. But if you was to walk up with a Glock 9mm, it's stopping it. 45, it's stopping it. 357, it's going to knock you off your feet. Okay, it's damn, it's going to knock every bit of air out of you, and you're going to be laid on the ground. But it will save your life. Okay, it will save your life, definitely. And like I said, you in a bad area, and just remember, a lot of people ain't good aim, right? So most people that are shot and killed, believe it or not, ain't shot in the head. They're shot in the chest, center of mass. And even a lot of people are taught when they fire a weapon to fire it center mass, because it's an easier target and you're more likely to hit that target. So if you in bad areas, this, you know, it's kind of pricey, especially with the good plates I got. But
do they have turtlenecks?
I don't know about all that.
I need
but
a turtleneck.
How much is your life worth to you? And I knew people hated me, right? If people hated me, would I be out in the open? Technology, we need to use it, right? It's there for a reason. They have those little glass that we seen like Obama stand behind. Remember Obama? He would always stand behind that glass. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't getting assassinated. You know, our first black president, there was a lot of fear that some crazy ass white person might shoot him, right? So he was a smart man. He get right behind that glass, and you know, why didn't he do that? You know, he's a rich person. He's being paid lots of money on this tour that he's doing, and I'm sure he's a millionaire. Why wouldn't he protect himself? I'm a bum and I protect myself. Now I don't got a security detail or nothing like that, but there's usually there ain't no risk of a sniper trying to get me. I don't think nobody hates me that bad. I'm more worried about somebody stabbing me in the neck with a fork. Okay. Like, ah, Dolly, right? I don't like what you said on YouTube. Ah. You know, I'm not so much worried about long range attack, right? So they found his DNA on a screwdriver on a roof, which I don't know why the screwdriver would be there, but a lot of people are suspecting that, hey, it's there because he was possibly putting a weapon together with this screwdriver.
The scope.
Maybe the scope.
That's what some are saying, that he was taking the scope off or putting the scope on.
So he was up there long enough on the, here's the thing about, you have to sight the scope.
Right. And that's
anybody that knows about a weapon, you can't just throw a scope on the rifle. You have to sight the scope. And to sight the scope, you have to shoot the weapon. Yeah. Okay? You can't just sight the scope like that. So, I mean, you can. If you have it on and you just like perfect at doing it, I mean, it can be done. Right? Snipers, military snipers do it.
Right, exactly.
Right? But this boy ain't got no military experience, right? He don't have no military experience. So to me, thinking he took that scope off that rifle, got up on that roof, and was up there long enough that he could sight this scope, put the scope on the gun, make the shot, right? Which I believe is a hard shot. I don't think when I seen this, I didn't think no way in hell that it was a young person. I figured whoever fired that gun had a lot of experience in firing the gun. Now, I was thinking, was he aiming for the head and hit him in the neck? Or was he aiming for center mass and hit him in the neck? Either way, fatal shot. And that type of gun, I don't care.
What are the chances that he just missed everybody else around him and got?
And here's another thing the police said that confused me. Really confused me. They said he etched things onto the bullets, okay, the casings, right? And they said they found song lyrics and different things on these casings, but he only fired one shot. Where the hell did all the casings come from if he only fired one shot? That don't make any damn sense. Listen, when I see little red flags stick out to me, okay? Well, how the hell did they find casings when he only fired one shot? How did they find all these things written on the casings when he fired one shot? Okay, did you hear multiple shots? I only heard one shot. Boom. Charlie down, right? Charlie down. I didn't hear multiple shots. So where the hell did multiple shell casings come from? Multiple shell casings, a screwdriver with his DNA on it. It's odd. I ain't gonna say it didn't happen. I ain't gonna say it didn't happen. I'm just saying it's odd. So he's gonna run and he's gonna take the gun with him? I don't think so. But leave the screwdriver and leave the casings. But he got up out of there quick. So he got there quick enough. He was able to jump off this roof.
Oh, the three of them were still inside the weapon. So why didn't they say bullets?
Yeah, they said casings.
They worded it. The words are really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's wording. I'm just picking up on the wording. Now, you may be right. There may have been multiple bullets in the magazine. And when they retrieved the gun, they retrieved the bullet.
Also, and they were engraved.
Yeah, they were engraved into the bullets. So he's took some time and planning of this. Now, I ain't saying the guy's innocent or anything. I'm just saying there were some weird things that were like odd to me. Like, that's a little odd. That's a little odd, you know? And, you know, of course, he has court tomorrow. He's not cooperating, which, why turn yourself in if you ain't going to cooperate? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you turn yourself in, it's like, hey, that's me on the video, but I'm not going to confess to shooting the weapon. Now, they are saying there is a confession. Apparently, he got on the Discord and he was telling people that he was the shooter. Now, Discord to me is the devil.
I was just getting ready to say that.
All right, that Discord is where people go to talk crap about each other. It's a lot of younger people that play video games. They use it as a chat group. And
There's
this
bad stuff happening in Discord.
I have never seen a good chat room in a Discord server ever. Okay. I have Discord. I never use it. Because it always ended up people forming little cliques and shit talking other people in the chat.
Well, the definition of the word Discord is disagreement between people.
Disagreement between people. It seems like that's what it is.
That's literally the Oxford Language Dictionary definition of Discord is disagreement between people.
Well, there's a lot of that goes on Discord. And, you know, when we hear federal charges, do we think this is a form of terrorism? Urban terrorism is basically because this is politically driven. Now, I've seen people saying that this young man was a Republican. Okay, this is where I'm going to dibble into a little bit of politics. And his family, his own family, says, you know, his political views got a little extreme, but he was a registered voter, but his registration didn't pick a party. Now, it has come out that he is in a relationship with a man, a man that is transitioning into a woman.
And a furry.
Okay, and we know Charlie, his Christian beliefs, he's not so much for those types of things. And apparently this has angered Tyler Robinson, right? Because he is in a relationship with a fellow that is transitioning into being a woman. Okay, some people say he has dresses as a furry, as a big old teddy bear or something. You know, I mean, I don't know. Whatever reason, there's no good reason to shoot Charlie. Okay, there's just no good reason. And to see, you know, so many people in our country bash and celebrate the death of a father and a husband is unbelievable. Okay, it's just unbelievable to me to see some of the things I have seen people saying, you know, that he deserved it and things like this. That is absolutely not true. Listen, there's a lot of people in this world that have a different opinion than me, right? If I offed everybody that had a different opinion than me, there wouldn't be nobody left but me. Okay, that is no reason to hurt somebody. And people look at, when you don't like what somebody says, it's like you look at them less than human. And to me, that is crazy, right? This man was a husband. He was a father. He had family. He had people that loved him. You know, just like me, right? I may say some things that piss people off, but that don't give you the right to kill me. Sometimes you got to agree to disagree with people. And this man was open to debate you on these topics to try to come to a common ground. Okay. And that's what adults do. The problem is young people are not adults. Okay. A young man is not a man. Okay. If he was a man, you wouldn't say young in front of it. Okay. Young man. When you're a man, you know better than this shit. Okay. You don't get mad at somebody's opinion. You just don't agree with it. It don't faze me if you think differently than me. The world is not an echo chamber. You have the right to come to your own decisions and believe what works for you. I believe no matter what side of the fence you on politically, we all want the same things in this world. We all want a good life. We all want to be able to provide for our kids. You know, we all want to eat. We all want to be able to pay our bills and live comfortably. I think our views are different of how we reach the finish line to that thing. But we all want the same thing. Everybody does, right? Now, there's some people out here, no matter what side you're on, if you're on the right or you're on the left, that are extremists. They're extreme. They're wild as hell. And they make the rest of everybody look bad, even on the left. Everybody on the left, right? And I know the left is getting a lot of heat right now for this, but everybody on the left is not bad. A lot of great, good people on the left, right? Now, they got some people over there on the left that are doing some really crazy things that are making the whole left look bad, okay? The whole right. We got some crazy ass people on the right, okay? Some of them people make everybody on the right look bad, but it's a small majority, right? People say crazy shit. And then people want to group everybody into two categories. Either you're on the left or you're on the right. But what about us people that are right here in the middle, stuck with you, okay? Right in the middle and can agree with some things on the left and can agree with some things on the right, okay? But don't agree with all of it or none of it at all, right? We're just like, damn, my vote don't matter. There's a lot of people in this country that feel that way, that my vote don't even matter. Some people are not political people at all, right? Like me. I agree with this. I agree with that, but I'm still kind of in the middle, right? I don't trust none of them. As a young kid, my mom told me one thing. I asked her, I said, and you always listen to your mom, right? Mom, how do I know who to vote for? My mom told me, she said, all politicians are crooks. All of them. There ain't one good politician. If you're a politician, you are a crook. You've taken money to do something for somebody. You vote for the one that is the least crooked. Okay? The lesser of two evils. The lesser, and I was a small kid when my mother told me this. It's the same, the two horns of the same goat. It don't matter. It don't matter what side you vote for. It's divide and conquer. It's to control the masses. Okay? They want to destroy us and make us hate each other. I don't see this hate in the world. I don't see it. When I turn on the news, I hear it. I hear it every day. But I don't see it. Like people hold the door for me. Hey, nice to see you. Bye. Blah, blah, blah. Don't never one time be like, who'd you vote for? Right? Never comes into play. People tend to respect each other and love each other. Now, there's some crime in our world. You know, people will rob you, shoot you, stab you, kill you. But they just want your money or something from you. They ain't never usually politically driven, right? I ain't never had nobody run up to me with a gun and be like, give me your wallet. You voted for Trump. Right? Yeah, never has that happened, right? Never has that happened. But you turn on the news and they make it out to be like the world hates each other, that we're so divided. And I don't see that division, right? I just see people wanting to get ahead in life, no matter who you are. You ask everybody what they want in this world, it's going to be close to the same thing. They want to be fed. They want a house, shelter, take care of their kids, send their kids to college, and they want to die in the Bahamas or in the Florida as, retired. Huh?
Peacefully.
Yeah, peacefully. They just want to go out and go to Disney World before they kick over at 90. I think everybody wants the same thing, right? We just want a vacation, be able to pay our bills, have food in the fridge, and be able to watch Netflix. That's it. So I don't like I said, I don't see the division, and there's so much propaganda in the news these days. I think if you turn off the news, young people, when did young people start watching the news or following politics? When I was in my 20s, I didn't give a damn what happened. Okay. I didn't care. So many young people are like so politically driven these days in this whole woke ass movement where you can't even say nothing without offending people. Listen, I come from an era where all you did was offend people. Friends offended each other. We called each other names. There's a word we can't even call each other no more because it's politically incorrect. Right? But we just ribbed each other and said the worst shit you could humanly say, and nobody got offended. Nobody cried. Okay. We didn't have the internet and we didn't boo-hoo and whine. I come from an era where it created tough ass people, right? This tough as hell. You know what I'm saying? You got a scrape on your leg. You just poured a little bit of Robitussin on it. You kept moving, little tussin. It solved everything, right? Bust your head open. You didn't need stitches. It's just going to leave a bigger scar. It'll heal, right? No antibiotics, none of that shit, right? Now, kids are just weak, frail ass individuals. Like they don't drink milk. They're drinking almond milk. They got weak ass bones. Like I just don't understand it. I just don't. Maybe I'm old, right? Listen, I'm getting to the point, right? Because I hit 50, right? I'm 51 now, right? I just I never thought I would be like, well, one day I'm gonna be old. Well, I guess I'm at that point because I look at young people today in the way kids are being raised, and I'm like, what is society gonna be 50 years from now, right? Just frail ass, skinny, white, ghostly, no sun, scared of the sun, scared to go outside, scared of the damn shadows. Everybody got anxiety. Everybody's at a psychiatrist. Like it's wild. It is absolutely wild to me. And to see everybody standing up for this man and standing up. I try to tell people are sick of the lawlessness. They're sick of the crime. Everybody wants to be safe. Everybody wants to be able to go to the grocery store and walk out without getting pistol whipped upside the head or shot or killed or stabbed. Their daughters raped. Everybody's tired of this shit. People throwing bricks through windows, and every time they get mad, don't get their way, burning down the town. People are over it. And I think the majority of people are rising up against it. And some people, when they don't have a good argument or they can't discuss things like an adult, they act out. And this is what we're seeing, right? Is people acting out. And there's other people like this young man that have the same thoughts as he does, that they don't care about human life. Okay? I love everybody. I don't care what side of political party you own. If somebody did something to damn Joe Biden, I'd be sad. I'd be like, man, no, Joe, Sleepy Joe won't that bad. Damn Bernie Sanders, I don't care who you are. Obama, I wouldn't want nobody hurt. Trump, JD Vance, nobody, right? Every life is important. Every single life on this planet is just as important as your life, my life. And that's why these people out here holding signs that said, I am Charlie. Because we're all the same. And people don't get that. It ain't even a political thing. You know, what did MLK say? We were all created equal. We are all equals. We're all brothers and sisters. You know, it is insane to me that things like this in a civilized world in 2025, we are seeing assassinations. We shouldn't be seeing nothing like this, right? Kids, little kids are seeing this shit. Like they're watching. Well, the way to shut people up is to get them to take them out. I heard people say, well, that was one person gone. We got some more people that need to be thrown away. Well, let me tell you this. We don't throw people away here in this world. We should be lifting people up, not tearing people down. And then when we don't agree with people, we don't shut them up. We try to prove them wrong. That's the thing about debating. Listen, we can discuss it, and I'm going to tell you why I believe these things. And if you don't have a good defense for it, you either believe me or you agree to disagree. But to shut up everybody with a voice, and I've said this jokingly.
All this did was make his voice louder. Soothing, I think Charlie said her and others will be doing a similar tour this fall now. She said can't take us all out.
That is right. You look at the views, his views have skyrocketed, Charlie Kirk. I bet you if he's looking down from heaven, he's like, damn, I done went viral on every platform. Everybody in the country's talking about me. People around the world are talking about it, right? And he's just became a martyr. He's just became a martyr. And people, when one side does something like this, it, like I said, it's only one bad apple, but it makes the whole bunch look bad, right? Just like one bad apple will spoil the whole bunch. And do you think this is going to help them in the next election? Oh, hell no. No. Because this is what people want to stop. This is what they don't want to happen. People, we have the right to have our voice, you know, and I stand up for that freedom of speech every day because, listen, you guys are giving me a voice. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And that voice is powerful. You know, words are powerful. Some people can't handle the truth. So if you get out here and you start saying things that they can't handle, like little kids, they're going to try to shut you up instead of trying to prove you wrong. Okay? Because that's what people should be doing. Well, if you say this, well, let me prove you wrong. You know, or if you can't debate, don't go debate a guy that's really good at it. Okay? Don't be a big ass dumb and get up there and try to argue with a person that's intelligent. Because you're going to lose that fight every time, right? You're going to lose that fight. You know, some people are quick witted and they're smart and they're quick on their feet. So when you say something, people's brains work like processors, right? Like me, I'm on dial-up, AOL, right? Some people working with, you know, i9 processors and shit, right? They quick. And a lot of people that get up there with them, they think they're smart, you know, until you talk to a smart person. Then you realize how dumb you actually are. Okay. Like I think I'm smart until I talk to somebody super intelligent. Then I'm like, yeah, I don't know shit. Okay. And a lot of those people are, when they get up in front of Charlie, they're like deers in headlights. They think they're coming in strong and hot, and then they get frozen like Sub-Zero with an ice ball. And then they're just like, they're stuck. And then the crowd's attacking them and they duck their heads down and leave in shame. And then they can't deal with that, right? They can't deal with the truth. Sometimes I cut you deeper than any lie ever. And especially if you trying to argue science, right? And we know, you listen, I believe everybody has the right to live their best life. If you want to dress as a man, dress as a woman, or if you're a man who in love with other men, or you're a woman that loves, you have every right to do whatever you want to do. I hope you live your greatest life, and I wish nothing but the best for you. Okay. I don't think what your sexual preferences are in this world should mean shit. I don't. What you do in your bedroom is absolutely your business. I don't care what it is, as long as it don't involve kids
or dogs or cats
or anything like that. Farm animals, leave the goats.
Jesus
You know what I'm saying? Anything other than that, I don't care what you do. I love you all the same, right? What you do in your bedroom is your rights. But we know on this planet that there's men, there's women, and there's the men, women, you know, that are born with both sexual organs. Okay. It happens. It's rare, but it does happen. So, and if you're trying to argue that, we know science is what it is. That's the only three things there are. Now, what you identify as is your own business, of course, but I shouldn't have to know what you identify as. I shouldn't have to. That shouldn't be forced onto me. Okay. So if I misidentify somebody, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought, and it happens. I remember I had long hair. Dudes in high school would ride by and roll down the window and whistle at me. Then they realized I was a dude, right? I'm like, oh, I'm just a dude with long hair, right? I got short hair now. I'm bald, but I used to have really long hair. So you know how many dudes mistake me for a chick? It was common, right? So, and I was from the 80s where little skaters wore the tight jeans and the Vans, and you skateboarding. So you got long hair, tight jeans. You getting whistled at, right? I never got mad and like, oh my God, they thought I was a chick. I mean, I knew I had long hair and tight jeans on. You know what I'm saying? It was Motley Crue era, Skid Row and Bon Jovi, right? We all look the same, right? Rocker dudes. So I never was offended when people would do that. I would thought they would be more embarrassed when they look back and seen I had a mustache. They were like, oh shit, right? But it is what it is. But people, get upset or offended over the littlest things. And like I said, I came from an era where you're tough. Even though I had long hair and tight jeans and a little flannel shirt on, I was a tough ass kid, right? I could take it, right? So it's a different time, a different world that we live in, right? A different world. Now I don't wear the tight ass jeans and shit, and I got short hair, but it's hard to mistake me now with the beard, but there was a time, right? And same, Dolly, cool, right? I mean, that era if you was an early 90s kid, right? Skateboarding to high school or riding your BMX and shit and going to see Metallica and Slayer and all that good fancy stuff that happened. The glory days is what I like to call it, the glory days. But there's no reason to hurt anybody for their opinion or they're different than you. I think that's what makes this country great is there's so many different people. It's a melting pot for all kinds of cultures. And if we got rid of one, wouldn't it suck? Right? Like I like people argue and fight about the wall and stuff so much. I'm just like, yeah, I go to Mexican once a week. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, don't build no wall around that Mexican restaurant. I'll be pissed off, right? Don't do it. Listen, if you think about it, we all come from other places. Our families, great grandmothers and grandfathers all came to this country. And it's the fact that everybody came here that made our country one of the best countries in the world, if not the greatest country in the world. So we got to stop dividing people and putting up invisible walls, right? Less hate, more Ozzy. There you go. Okay. No more tears. No more tears, like Ozzy would say. And we got to stop these people. These people that are doing these things, they are terrorists to me. So if they charge this young man with some terroristic charges, would I be upset about it? No. Because we got to stop this terror in our country. Some of these people are worse than like our Al-Qaeda's and stuff like that because these people are amongst us, right? These are the enemies we don't see. They're the most dangerous enemies to our country are people like this. And now listen, if they had did this to, let's just say somebody on the right had did this to the left, I would be saying the exact same things.
We would be having riots with fire.
Right? And some people do believe that cities would burn down if stuff like this happened to the other side. But we got to stop that, right? And we have to stop that. People have to stand together and unite on violence, right? Nobody wants violence. Nobody, right? Like when people are encouraging violence, I do not like it. And I even heard some people a little bit that they were trying to act like they wasn't on the right, encouraging violence. But to me, it sounded like they were encouraging a little bit of violence. I disagree with that. Like I said, I don't care what side of the damn fence you on. Put your weapons down. All right. We are family here in this country. We are families. We're brothers and sisters. Take that shit out on like damn North Korea or something. I don't know what, but fighting amongst ourselves is not the answer. Okay, is not the answer. I like all Ozzy, but not all his music. Okay, I agree with that. Now let's jump into a little bit of some news clips, and then I'm going to open the phone lines because I want to hear your beautiful people. I just don't want to sit here and rant about what I believe all night. I want to hear a little bit from you guys and what your thought process is on all this. All right. So give me 1 second. Let me share this video. Because, of course, these people explain this situation, the DNA evidence, a little bit better than I did. But I just wanted to touch on some of the things they had on him. And, of course, we will be following the court hearing tomorrow. I'm sure 7,000 other YouTubers will also. So everybody's talking about this right now. This is the big thing that is going on in the world. So we will be here also covering it with you guys in the morning. And it's just, I believe, a preliminary tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be pretty quick, but hopefully they're going to up his charges to capital murder. All right, let's jump over to this real quick.
Following some breaking news as it relates to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We've been following it in depth here on Live Now from Fox. Take a look at your screen. The man accused of assassinating political activist Charlie Kirk has his first date in court this week. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson's motive remains unclear this morning, but as Fox News correspondent Doug Luzada reports from Washington, new details are emerging from the investigation.
Tyler Robinson's first court appearance is scheduled for tomorrow as Charlie Kirk's supporters and friends spent the weekend mourning his loss. Filling the Kennedy Center in Washington, mourners held lights, sang, prayed, and remembered Charlie Kirk.
It's as if a dark shadow was cast over our country and certainly here, even on Capitol Hill.
As Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson joined administration officials and others here, just one of a series of vigils across the country.
I just wanted to come and honor his memory.
But still signs of division, as one man trampled a memorial in Phoenix before being tackled and later arrested.
I'll be going on early Sunday morning. We're going to Arizona, taking some people with us on Air Force.
I just want to touch in on that. How can somebody destroy a memorial for anybody? If I was there, I would snap. Okay, if I seen you disrespect another human life like that in front of me, you better hope the police get you, right? And if the crowd don't, you just better, you just do not do stuff like that. Listen, the man is dead. He has the right to a fee. You do not disrespect the dead.
Yeah.
You just don't do it. Okay, if you hated this man when he was alive, okay, that's fine.
He's dead now.
He's dead now. Why are you hating a dead man? Yeah. Right? I don't understand that. How disrespectful could you be?
That's lowest of low.
What? Was you not taught as a child? What the hell what is going on? Right? You know what people need in this world sometimes? And I hate to say this. A good ass whipping. Mm-hmm. Okay? You need to be taken behind the woodshed.
Some of these people never had anybody tell them no. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah, entitled ass people. You think you're going to go out in front of a group of people that are crying and upset, and you're going to destroy what they came to put down to show their respects for somebody. And you're going to go out there and you lucky you made it out of there. Yeah. Right? You lucky the police got you. Oh my God, you better be thank God the police were there moment, right? I remember I was at a bar and there was 5 dudes stomping me in the parking lot, soccer kicking me, right? The cops pulled up, true story, right? And once the cops pulled up, they stopped kicking me, right? They stopped kicking me. And the cop, picked me up off the ground. He looked me right in the face. He said, "I bet you glad to see me, ain't you?" I said, "Damn straight. Hell yeah, I'm glad to see you." Right? That's what should have been happening to somebody to do some stupid stuff like that. You should be thankful to see the damn police.
President Trump yesterday on his way back to Washington said he would attend Kirk's funeral next weekend in Phoenix. He blamed increasing political violence on the left, just as investigators are trying to complete their picture of the man accused of gunning down Kirk, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson.
See, when he jumped, how his arms were above him, it does not appear that he has a weapon. Let me back this up so we can get to that image.
He does have something in his hand.
I can't see it.
Gunning down
It does not appear he has anything in his hand.
Kirk.
I mean, I don't know whatever. I see Bigfoot and beef jerky. That's all I see.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating.
Utah's governor described a man who was immersed in an online world, with reports that he had a relationship with a man who was transitioning to a woman.
There are going to be multiple motives. Even for the most simplest of crimes, there's never one motive.
But motive may be a key question for so many struggling to understand what appears to be a senseless act. Now, at the moment, Tyler Robinson faces state charges, but the Department of Justice is also considering a federal prosecution. In either case, he could face the death penalty. In Washington, Doug Lusader, Fox News.
All right, Doug, thank you so much for that detailed report. And as these new details are being revealed in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, take a look at your screen. The latest from Rapid Response 47 on this Monday. They put this out on X, formerly known as Twitter. The latest from FBI Director Kash Patel. He says, quote, "I can report today that the DNA from the towel that was wrapped around the firearm and the DNA on the screwdriver are positively processed for the suspect in custody." So a lot we are following as it relates to this developing story. We've been following it from the beginning right here on Live Now from Fox. Now, many of you all might be wondering, okay, Gina, what's next as we look ahead to the latest of Charlie Kirk? Well, I'm glad you asked. I want to transition to take you out live to Glendale, Arizona. Looking ahead to Sunday, right here on Live Now from Fox, we will air the memorial service of Charlie Kirk. That will be live, raw, and uninterrupted. Again, taking place at State Farm Stadium there in Glendale, Arizona, giving you a live look there as we've hit the 10 o'clock hour here on Live Now from Fox.
Okay, let me close this.
Joining me now is the author of
All right, I want to play this video right here for you guys. And this is basically where the governor says, oh shit, hold on.
Chat was asking you to play the JD Vance.
I'm going to play it. Give me a second.
Groundbreaking works.
All right, hold on. I got a whole lot of stuff open here, and it's going a little crazy. Give me a second. Let me close this so I can open other stuff. All righty, let's jump back over to it. I'm going to play the JD Vance stuff. Give me a second.
Details about Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin and what he did immediately following the shooting.
So it comes as officials revealed the suspect.
Okay, hold on before we go any farther. We got 760 likes on this video, and we got over 1,200 people in the room. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Y'all better like this video, right? Y'all better take a second. Don't make me get on the rooftop. I'm playing. Y'all like y'all like the damn video. I'm gonna come live on your couch when I'm homeless. Okay, y'all don't want that. I'll be homeless, living on your couch. My feet stink, and y'all could have kept me from being homeless. All y'all had to do is like the damn video. All right, like the video, and yeah, let's take a second moment.
Your feet don't even stink.
I know. Don't tell them that. I'm trying to encourage them to like the video. I'm trying to scare them into it. Okay.
Most of the people want you to live with them.
I'm going to send a homeless dude to live with you. Okay. That ain't took a bath in a year. I'm going to be like, oh, they said you could stay. All right.
Now that's different.
I'm going to squat on your lawn. But before I do it, I'm going to send myself mail to your house. So when the police show up, I can be like, this is my mailing address. Then you got to evict me. Okay, that's going to take you.
Then you're going to turn into a squatter.
A squatter rights, right?
Hell.
So 30 days, it's going to take you to get me out your yard, and you could avoid all that by liking the video. I mean, it's simple. It's free and everything, right? It's just a little push a fucking button. You ain't even got to work hard for it, right? We at least need to be at 1,000 likes up in here. You just got here, okay? Well, I won't hold you responsible, but make sure you like the video. All right, I got bills to pay around here. All right, that light shining me in the face right there. Ain't no free light, okay? The power company didn't say, Dolly, we love you. We want to sponsor your channel. Hell no, they send me a bill every month, along with the cable person, along with the water, right? Ain't no free rides around here, Ain't no free rides. So I'm going to need y'all to like the video so I can afford to pay those bills. Okay?
These dogs sound like they're doing zoomies in the kitchen.
They probably are doing zoomies in the kitchen. All right, with that said, let's get back to business. Now, just take a second, like the video. Dolly loves you. Okay? Nobody else on YouTube loves you. Just me. Right? Y'all doing me dirty.
Cooperate with the authorities.
Garrett Tinney joins us live outside of the Utah County Jail with more. Good morning, Garrett.
Good morning, y'all. We have learned that Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin is being held in a separate unit here at the Utah County Jail and is under special watch to make sure he doesn't hurt himself or others before his first court appearance tomorrow.
Thank you, Meg.
As you mentioned, the suspect is not cooperating with the investigation, but Utah Governor Spencer Cox says other people close to the suspect are cooperating.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important. His roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. He is cooperating with authorities as well.
Ever wondered what your home looks like?
Okay. So everybody is cooperating, but the shooter. And thank you for joining. We're getting closer to hitting 81,000, and I can't do it without your help. So if you're watching out there, join up, and you'll see the little wave pop up on the screen. That means somebody just joined. Thank you. Thanks for being here with us. All right, let me get past this commercial. We'll skip it.
Also trying to put together a timeline for the suspect's radicalization, and officials say it appears to have happened over the last few years as the suspect was spending an increasing amount of time in the quote dark places of the internet. The New York Times reports that after the FBI released surveillance images of
you can see it a little bit better when he was on the roof that he had the towel in his hand. So yes, maybe he did have that gun when he jumped. Okay. Because I definitely see the towel in his hand. Now, is it a weapon? It most likely it is. So you guys might have been right about that.
I told you.
I couldn't see it when he jumped, but when they showed him running on the roof, it looks like he set the towel down on the roof right before he jumped. So you're possibly right that he did have it in his hand when he did jump.
Why
so
did he do all that and then leave the gun in the woods and then not take the stuff off the roof? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, so that may explain right there how the gun got to the woods. Is he did jump off the roof with it. Yeah. But where did he change clothes and stuff like that? And how did he? How was he able to get onto the roof of that building? That's a good, the question.
Suspect, an acquaintance tagged him in an online group chat, and the suspect allegedly replied that his doppelganger was trying to, quote, get me in trouble. And then when another person joked that they should turn him in for the reward, the suspect allegedly responded, only if I get a cut. We also have this new surveillance video obtained by TMZ showing the alleged assassin walking to UVU's campus the morning of the shooting.
Okay, there he is walking. It looks like he's wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Right? It looks like where the hell would he have he's wearing high socks. Now he should go to jail just for that. But I mean.
Does he have sandals on?
No, he ain't got sandals on.
That would have been a definite.
So there's him walking there that morning. Did somebody possibly leave this weapon there for him? Is there somebody else involved? Now think about this. You got a boyfriend, okay? And you live with this boyfriend and you're about to do something extreme, and it kind of seems like he did it on their behalf. How would they not know? And they're saying that boyfriend is cooperating, right? But how would he not know that this was going to go down? Because this sounds like something he planned.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe there's more people involved in this than just him.
Flippy says he's being set up.
He's being set up? I don't know. Like, I didn't see the weapon when he was in the air, but I did see what that appears to be. He had that towel in his hand when he went to the edge of the roof. You can see it a lot better in that clip, how they highlighted it.
This was about 4 hours beforehand, wearing a maroon shirt and light-colored shorts, and that he later changed out of before returning to campus shortly before the shooting, wearing those dark clothes we saw in those surveillance photos. The suspect will be appearing virtually for his first court appearance tomorrow.
So he's not even going to be there in court. He's going to be virtual. Well, I'm sure that he's going to be, when they do move him around, they're going to move him around in a bomb-proof suit. You know how they put them big ass vests with the neck collars like they had on Timothy McVeigh?
What?
Yeah. Well, not the first time. When they walked Timothy McVeigh out from the Oklahoma City bombing, he wanted a vest and they wouldn't give him a vest. He actually asked for a vest because he thought when he walked out those doors that somebody's going to shoot him. He knew what he did was so bad that he thought there was going to be a lynch mob for him, and they walked him out without a vest. The first time. After that, they gave him one, and the other guy that was involved with him.
And we are told that after those charges are filed tomorrow, before that court appearance, we are going to learn a lot more about this investigation and what they are learning.
Potatoes. DNA does lie. Okay. People say that DNA don't lie. That's untrue. I was listening to O.J. Simpson's lawyer, and he was talking about how many mistakes that DNA labs make. And it's like a ton of mistakes. So there is a lot of
different than lie. Like if you have a clear, crisp sample of
DNA. A clear, crisp sample, yes. But there's a lot of mistakes that DNA labs make. Lots.
I wouldn't take any information from a defense lawyer, especially over.
I'm just saying. I mean, they argue DNA every day.
Make mistakes, but then it wouldn't be a match. I mean,
so far. Back to y'all.
All right, Garrett, thanks so much. The one thing that comes to mind, too, is that you initially thought that maybe he was cooperating because they got information on his dad convinced him to go. We heard all that, but he's not. So I guess we're going to have to look at, and we'll find out from Kash Patel, we're going to have to look at his online chats, his online presence, what was going on. And then we have relatives of his partner.
Utah is 3 hours back from the East Coast, right? I think it's 3 hours back. I may be wrong. DNA labs are better nowadays. I agree with that, but they still make mistakes. There's still samples that get messed up. There's DNA that gets lost. There's DNA that gets mixed up. It happens. Like when the lawyer, OJ's lawyer, was talking about it, because he was talking about a different case. He wasn't even talking about OJ. He was talking about Brian Kohlberger. And he said that, you know, he was talking about the DNA on the button of the knife. He said that DNA is easier to argue that a mistake could have been made in the lab, but he believed that circumstantial evidence was going to do Brian Kohlberger in. And he was talking about, you know, DNA labs make hundreds of mistakes a year, and you argue that this could have been a mistake because nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is 100% perfect. Yeah. And that DNA sometimes is, you can defend against DNA, but he believed there was so much circumstantial evidence against Brian Kohlberger that he was going to be found guilty. And he said, as a lawyer, it's not their job to get you found innocent. Sometimes it's their job to get you to less time or to save your life if you're facing a death penalty. And he said, if I was his lawyer, I would be trying to save his life to where he didn't get the death penalty. Basically work out a deal. And that's what they did anyway. He took a plea deal to life in prison. But he don't get executed. And the same thing's going to happen with this young man. He's going to go ahead and when it all comes down, he'll probably plead guilty, and they'll spare his life, and he'll get life in prison.
Who was transitioning, that person speaking out that he got radicalized, and then you have to look at possibly how they have made a statement that they're looking to widen the investigation and to probe whether pro-trans online groups and others connected with Robinson knew in advance about the plan to kill him. But the mindset of a guy that could assassinate someone, we assume for the first time in his life, and go online and engage and be lighthearted and just mock the fact that he looks like the killer, even though he is, that mindset, I just can't understand.
Well, I know if you go on social media and you start watching some videos about Charlie Kirk and some of the past comments and some of his speeches, another one will pop up and another one will pop up. So I spent a lot of the weekend going through a lot of what he has said in the past. I think we've learned a lot more about him, even in death, than we did in life. And then we were all craving some sort of a spiritual component yesterday. And
okay, Carmela, you need to stick with another channel because you just got your ass blocked. All right. She said I should stick with covering missing kids, right? You should stick with another channel because you just got the damn boot.
Somebody
All right.
else said that earlier.
Are you researching dental implants?
Don't you only cover missing kids? No, it's never been just missing kids.
No, I cover true crime.
Right, that's what I said.
Yeah. This is a true crime channel. If there's a crime, I'm covering it. Now,
This is a crime.
do I get everything right? No. Did I claim to get everything right? No. When I'm wrong about something, do I say I'm wrong? I told you I didn't see the gun when he jumped off the roof, but then when they showed him highlighted walking up the roof and setting something down, I was like, oh, now I see it. Right? Maybe you guys were right about that. There is a gun. Maybe he did jump with something in his hand. We can't see that it's a gun, but we can assume that it's a gun, right? Because he had a gun. I mean, you didn't shoot somebody with your finger. But if you got something slick to say, don't forget, I got my finger on the trigger too, okay? On the block trigger. Your ass can kick rocks, okay? You can kick them down the street. You on my channel. I'll say whatever the hell I want to say. You don't like it, you don't got to be here, okay? Did I come to your house, turn your computer on and say, bitch, you better watch me? I didn't do that. I didn't do that. You chose to click the damn button and tune into my channel, right? Did I force anybody in here? No, you didn't get forced, right? You're here by your choice. Don't say something slick to me, all right? I'm a human too, right? I bet you if I was sniped, y'all be celebrating it right now. Get out! That's the kind of people we don't need in our country. This shitty people. Why not be nice? You could have been like, Dolly, hey, you were wrong about that, but I enjoy your show when you're right. You know, you could have said something positive. You didn't have to come in here saying some mean shit. Right? You didn't have to. Where's the love in this world? You think I'm going to be sad about kicking your ass out the room? No. Will I think about it later? No. Will I remember you tomorrow? No. Okay. Anybody else want to say some slick shit? Now's your chance. Okay. You got anything bad you want to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace, like at a wedding. All right. I ain't got time to be stopping every 20 minutes when y'all got something slick to say. You got something slick to say? Say it now. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get this over with. While my trigger finger itchy, right? Right on the mouse like this. Just poof, knocking you out, taking you out. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. I don't want to hear shit later. I done told you. Speak now. All right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. All right, let's get past this commercial.
And give you some sort of teeth.
Yeah, we don't want to see your teeth.
Church online, a church we love in South Carolina, and they honored Charlie Kirk. The pastor said, could everyone please kneel and let's say a prayer for Charlie. He also remembered the family of the girl who was slain on the train in North Carolina. And there's something called, Lawrence, the Charlie effect. It's Christians online are revealing that they've been attending mass to celebrate his fearless pursuit of Jesus. And one person wrote online, my son asked if I wanted to go to church with him on Sunday. He's not a church goer. We're going to Saturday mass, the Charlie Kirk effect. Another one said, the Catholic church where I attended mass today, remember Charlie Kirk in his priest homily. Masses are being offered.
Somebody asked, what does my shirt say? This is for the person I just blocked. It says, F you very much. Okay. F you very much. Perfect shirt for this occasion. Okay. F you very much.
Offered across the country for the repose of his soul.
So that's important for two reasons, Ainsley. I think what's happening in remembering Charlie shows potential other assassins that if you thought you were going to silence a movement.
And you got to remember, for all you sensitive ass people out there, I told you I grew up in the old school, right? You bust your head open, you don't get stitches. You scuff your knee. You pull a little rubber tussin on it. Dolly Savannah t-shirt. Well, hoodie. Yeah, this is the shirt I was wearing when I got arrested in Savannah, right? For being an outlaw, right? Y'all didn't know y'all were tuned into an outlaw. Dolly, okay? There's something you don't know about me, Dottie. I'm an outlaw.
But the opposite is happening. But I think as it goes to the investigation, to Brian's point,
you don't want to get involved with a guy like me, okay? You don't want to get involved with a guy like me.
But there's a couple of things that still need to be solved there in the sense of in the chat room. Okay, they say these messages, and we're going to ask the director that's going to be coming up on our.
Anybody know what movie that's from? Anybody know what movie that quote I just said from? Anybody out there?
Show in the next hour, FBI director. This happened after the assassin. Okay, so obviously there was a chat going on before. Did he discuss any of his plans before? He felt comfortable.
RP, right? Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right? Dottie was the girl he liked in Pee-wee. Something you don't know about me, Dottie. You don't want to get involved with a guy like me.
Bragging that he looked like the assassin when he really was the assassin. So there had to be some type of conversation. We also know that relatives said that he was very vocal about him hating Charlie Kirk. So he's been talking with his family members about it as well. Also, the narrative a couple days ago with this guy.
RP says, I love Pee-wee. Right? So when I was in San Bernardino covering the Emmanuel Harborough case, I asked the locals, I was like, well, what do y'all got around here? What's something that Dolly has to see, that I can't miss? And they were like, well, there ain't shit. There's cactuses, right? It's a desert. There's nothing. They were like, but we do have dinosaurs. And I was like, dinosaurs? They were like, yeah, there's some dinosaurs on the next exit. And I was thinking, 2 people told me that. And then I asked another local, I was like, well, what's the big difference? What's the big thing with the damn dinosaurs? They were like, oh, it's not real dinosaurs. It's the dinosaurs from Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. They shot part of the movie in San Bernardino at the dinosaurs in the movie. And everybody was telling me to go see the dinosaurs because that was the dinosaur. But they didn't tell me it was the Pee Wee Herman dinosaurs. One local finally told me, they were like, yeah, it's where Pee Wee shot the movie. And I was like, oh, now I want to see the damn dinosaurs.
It was MAGA. He obviously was not MAGA. And we found out that his lover is transitioning. It wasn't just a roommate. It was someone that he was intimate with. All of that impacts this investigation.
And he's cooperating.
He's cooperating.
We understand that too, I guess, to a degree. And we'll see. I would say this, the family conservative, he evidently wasn't. They said that a couple of his coworkers said, yeah, he was very quiet. And in fact, one time we were having a conversation about politics, and most of us at work at the electrician, where he was an electrician, he left in 2023, started talking about politics. He went into the laundry room and just sat there by himself, isolated. He couldn't handle the conservative talk. So, I mean, you begin to see that. They said the only other time he showed interest is when you talked about guns.
Well, we've all been wondering who's going to.
When you've got smoke-free.
Well, today, Vice President J.D. Vance.
Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. I want to pull this up. This is what y'all been asking me to play, this J.D. Vance stuff, as soon as I can figure out what's going on here. StreamYard. Okay, let's blow this up. Let me close this. Let me bring this over here. Bam.
Vance is guest hosting Kirk's podcast as he pays tribute to his friend and ally. Take a listen.
Every single person in this building, we owe something to Charlie. He was a joyful warrior for our country. He loved America. He devoted himself tirelessly to making our country a better place. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president.
NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson joins us live from Orem, Utah. Steve, we're learning now about this DNA evidence as well as the suspect's text messages. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Morgan, FBI Director Kash Patel on
Fox this morning, speaking about the importance of the link of forensic DNA evidence, specifically that some was found, as you mentioned, on that screwdriver on one of the roofs that you viewed. Obviously, likely where the shooter was climbing those stairs to get to that vantage point about 200 feet away. And they matched that to the towel that was used to wrap the weapon, thought to be a bolt-action high-powered rifle, which was discovered in a wooded area near the scene. Talk about how important that link was to the investigation, but also how important some other links are, specifically the digital link. They are trying to track down the suspected shooter's digital footprint. They're doing that by going on message boards, any sort of internet activity he would have had, gaming, anything that they can use to sort of find more messages. One of those was reportedly in text messages. Kash Patel spoke about that this morning and how it relates to the case. Listen to this.
He had a text message exchange, the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
Patel also saying that the FBI has taken a really aggressive posture when it comes to interviewing, that they're interviewing friends, family, acquaintances, neighbors, anybody that they can get their hands on to try to get more witness testimony involved.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC.
No, Pee Wee never messed with kids, okay? Pee Wee Herman went into an adult theater where men like to do things to themselves. Would be, I guess, the thing that and that's, and that's what he was doing, but he wasn't messing with kids. And then, of course, everybody tends to do these things. Now, people don't tend to do it in public, right? But this was a public place where people did do those types of activities. And basically, they took everything from Pee Wee, his show, and, they didn't want, nobody wanted to do movies with him. And they made a big deal really out of nothing to me, right? What the people that made this big, what they didn't, let's be honest now, I'm trying to keep it mostly appropriate as I can. Well, now is that something I would do? No, but it's, if you were, a gay male and you hang out in these theaters and that's what they do there. Okay. It ain't a shocker to me. Right. But as far as him being into little kids, no, there's some people that are nudists. Think about that. And there's a lot of weird things that go, that's what I'm saying. People are using people's sexuality against them in this world. Right. And they shouldn't. Even, I'm glad y'all brought up the Pee Wee Herman thing, because that's the same thing. They took what he enjoyed sexually and tried to destroy this man over it, which there's no need for. What he does, he does. Now, if he was at a regular theater, okay, if he was watching, let's just say Batman, and he's over there trying to get Gotham, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what else, that'd be bad, right? Because there's people in a theater that are going to be like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? But you in an adult theater where dudes are spanking and you look over and there's another dude spanking. It's just like, if you go to a gym and you're changing clothes and you see a naked man, you're like, oh my God, I'm shocked, naked man. No, you're at a gym where it's naked men, other naked men. It's not a big deal to me. Right. But they made a big deal out of it. So to me, what Pee Wee Herman did was, is it odd? Yeah. I mean, it ain't something I'd do, but is it unreasonable to think that things like that happen at these adult? That's why it says adult theater. It don't say kid theater, because it says adult theater. They're showing pornographic material to men. Okay. You don't want to sit on nothing in that theater. I can tell you that, right? You don't want to go in there unless you want, have you ever stepped in some soda that's been on the floor and your shoe kind of sticks to the floor? It's like, that's bad. Okay. That's bad. But it ain't like he was at the park pulling his thing out. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't TikTok Tonying at 12:02. So don't give Pee Wee Herman but such a bad time, But now that we got that out the way, I'm going to open the phone lines. I want to hear from you beautiful people tonight what y'all think about this whole situation. What should happen to Tyler Robinson? Do you think they're going to charge him with capital murder tomorrow? Because right now he hasn't been charged with capital murder. So a lot of people are believing they're going to up his charges tomorrow and may even hit him with some federal charges. Give me 1 second. I will. Oh, the call-in number is on the screen. It's below me right here. 757-797-6694. Yeah, that puts a new name to the sticky icky, right? Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. It's Big Amish calling from D.C.
What's up, Big Amish?
That was terrible how they did Pee Wee.
I think the young man's going to walk. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Two big pieces of evidence. One, there's no direct evidence of him firing the weapon at Charlie Kirk.
Uh-huh.
And no witnesses. And more importantly, this one is the key. They still don't have the bullet. And even if they find the bullet, if it doesn't match that 30-06, he's not the one who fired the weapon that killed Charlie.
What about all the circumstantial evidence?
Well, you could have that, but without the bullet, without the bullet and without direct evidence of him firing the weapon,
there could be two shooters.
There could be two shooters, right? Or just like that guy popped up and said, "I did it." That old guy, old-headed guy.
Yeah. Why would he may not have got away in the beginning. That old man hadn't caused all that chaos.
Yeah.
It was like a diversion. It was almost like a diversion. I mean, I don't know if he purposely did it, but it was a diversion.
And what's the odds of him? And I don't know if this is true, but I heard and saw this, but I don't know if it's true. That old guy, I guess his name is George Zinn. He was at the Boston bombing.
I seen it too. I don't really get into the conspiracy, but I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going with it. Yeah, I said the same thing you thinking right now.
Very, very odd. But the young man couldn't do it by himself. Put it that way.
I do.
He needed help.
Yes. Yeah. Do you think?
So he could be a co-conspirator. But
I think so too. I think that somebody got him that weapon. There's no they don't say where he purchased that weapon.
Right.
So where did
it
come from?
Yeah. What's his background in using firearms? I mean, when did he zero in that scope? When did he do? When did he do this training? There's a lot that's left to the imagination. We just know that he's a freak.
Yeah. Like I went to the shooting range and I had I don't know what I was shooting, like a 9mm, and I couldn't hit the target to save my life from 20 feet away. So I'm like, I don't know how these people can just instantly become a sniper. And I play Call of Duty all the time and still sucked at the shooting range.
You're right. The other thing that's a little disturbing is the shot on Charlie's neck is right on the left side. Right. But that's what we see. But that is an exit wound. So when you see all that blood coming out, usually like with JFK, the wound comes from the back, blows out his back of his skull. But here, the entry wound you really don't see it, but it's the exit wound that leaves the blood and stuff coming out.
I thought it was more of a ripping, like it ripped it open, like more than shooting through it. Because if you shoot through it, you would think it would be squirting out the front of your neck. It was squirting out the side of his neck, like almost like it blew that whole chunk of meat out of his neck. I mean, I'm not an expert on bullet wounds, but it was pretty brutal. You're right. You really didn't see an entrance. You just seen the effect of
the exit. But if it's coming out on the side of his neck, he couldn't be shooting from the front.
I don't think it came out the side of his neck, though. I think it blew that part of his neck off because that rifle's so powerful.
Right, but the video footage that I focused on is the one that's coming from the left. So if the shooter is straight onto him, right? Picture this: if he's facing the shooter, if where does the bullet go in because if it's coming out on the side of his neck and causing that blood, you need an entrance wound.
So you saying he was shot on the other side of the neck, and we're seeing the blowout from the wound?
Yeah. So yeah, there has to be a second shooter.
From the grassy knoll?
Well, you know how his shirt pops? Well, there's going to be something along those lines, because you see his shirt puff out and pop out, right? Just like JFK in a way. But so that's, and I watched a little slow motion, because Charlie has an earpiece and he has a microphone on his shirt. And I think the shot does come from the other side of his neck, because that's what it hits. Probably the bullet hits right by his ear, goes in through his ear, knocks off the pieces and pulls the cords that are attached to his shirt. That's why you see it pop up and then exits out through his neck, on the other side of his neck.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and really examine the video. Like, I've watched it multiple times, but I haven't really tried to really break it down frame by frame. To be honest with you, I was just like, damn, that's brutal.
Yeah, no, but something bizarre is happening. That's all, because it has to be coming from a different direction. But if you start breaking it down slow-mo and saying, wait, why is his shirt popping off? And the other bizarre thing, let me tell you something. I don't know if you saw this. The security guard, his own security guard, puts a fan under his butt, literally. A fan. It looks like a fan. I don't know what, before he gets shot as well. Like 30 seconds.
I mean, I've seen some stuff where people were pointing out where it looked like people were giving some signals, but because I do watch conspiracy stuff. Not that I believe it all, but I'll entertain it. I'll watch. And I think there's some coincidental things in it. I mean, I don't know. I'm no expert. I don't tend to just jump to conspiracy, but I do enjoy a good conspiracy entertainment wise, I don't take everything I see as this gots to be true, no,
I agree. But there's anomalies, right? There's things that don't make sense, and we don't even know what we're seeing is actually true. I mean, you could even go to that,
because they were saying there was one person that put up a signal that meant female, and one put up one that said meant sniper, and they believed there was a female sniper. Did you see that video?
I did not see that one.
And then they were showing all the signals, and it kind of looks like it, but it could just be coincidental or something. But we know it wasn't a female sniper, so I mean that kind of throws out that whole thing. But it did look like one dude was giving a sniper signal. But like I said, I'm no expert in that, and I just take it as entertainment. But I will go back and kind of eye the video a little bit better.
Look at the shirt, but I did see those two guys, one with the hat on the right and the one with the black shirt, security detail, giving that kind of baseball move on his right arm.
Yeah, I seen that too. I mean, I don't know what maybe they're discussing between the security. Keep your eye on the dude in the blue shirt, and they got signals for that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they are watching the crowd, but they don't realize that there's a sniper on the roof. And I would think if you're that controversial, you would have somebody on the roof, just like Trump did. He had somebody on the roof,
Well, at a bare minimum, what they should have, and probably did have, but I don't know why, even the smallest police detail, because they had security from they had local police, I think, a few, and from the university. But even his own security detail, they use drones. It's not that expensive. Everyone has a drone team.
Yeah, I mean, or counter sniper if you think you're at risk. If you're at risk enough, they're putting bulletproof vests on you. They should have somebody up top watching.
Sure. No, you're right. Absolutely right.
I mean, that's a failure of security, if nothing else. I mean, his security, they get an E. Definitely. You're right. They definitely get an E. They that thing's a lot better. All right. Hey, I appreciate you calling in.
No, thank you.
All right. Peace.
Have a good night.
Okay. What do you guys think about that? Right. I mean, he makes a good point on the wound itself. Like when you watch the wound, it does. But to me, my argument for what he said was there's a couple. Some people believe it hit the vest and ricocheted up and basically ripped this part of his neck off. I mean, we're talking high caliber rifle, 30-06. You can take down an elephant with a 30-06. Okay. And I believe it blew, when it hit him, it blew this part of his neck off, which was that artery. No vest. You sure he had no vest on? I've heard people say it hit the vest, but either way, you know, when some of these bullets get fired, even like an AK-47, sometimes these bullets spin, right? And hit him. And I don't know, whatever it did, this side of his neck said, okay, I don't know. I'm no expert in that, right? I'm no expert. I don't claim to be. I seen his neck just disintegrate, okay? And blood was squirting out that shit like a Art the Clown Terrifier movie. I've never seen nothing like that. I mean, John F. Kennedy, of course, I've seen the assassination of John F. Kennedy, but you know, the cameras were so old, it really didn't have that effect. It wasn't like 2020 shot from an iPhone 16, right? You really seen it like, and Facebook wasn't even taking them down. They wasn't even taking the shit down, not flagging it, not nothing. Now we know some of these social media sites, they lean a certain way, but they wasn't even taking it down. They wanted everybody to see this. I don't know why, right? I don't know why that was so important that everybody see this, but they made sure got everybody watch this shit. Okay. That was like, who didn't see it? Okay. If you didn't see it in here, press 1 in the chat, right? Because I think everybody saw that shit. Like, I can't remember a time in the country where everybody saw an assassination. There's still people that ain't seen the John F. Kennedy assassinations. I guarantee you everybody's seen that. Now there's somebody right there. You never seen it. Very sad one. You didn't see it. Okay. Well, good. Y'all are lucky. There are more people. All right. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there is a lot of people that didn't see it. Thank God y'all didn't see it. Okay. Thank God. I feel bad if kids saw it. You know, the kids saw it. The kids are going to see it. The internet is forever. Okay. When you do something up here, it's forever. There's a lot of y'all that didn't see it. Okay. I said press 1 if you didn't see the video of him getting shot in the neck. It was everywhere. Like, you couldn't turn on X, right? Twitter up there, Instagram up there, Facebook up there, TikTok up there. Every social media channel had it, just blatantly him getting shot in the neck and blood just. I was like, wow. Still to this day, I've seen the Taliban chop people's heads off with a rusty blade. It is up there with that. Okay. It is that brutal to watch. And just the way he slumps over and goes limp. Oh my God, it's bad. Did y'all guys see the girl get stabbed on the subway? The dude was sitting behind her. He's a damn convict out on bond, and he gets up and he stabs the girl. Oh my God. They should take that dude right outside and put a hot one in him. Okay. Totally different story. Totally different story. Horrible. It'll make you cry. And the little girl is just like, really pretty girl too. Like, the way she reacts, like, she don't even know what's happening. By the time she, I think, realizes she's being stabbed, she's like already like, she reacts like, oh my God, I've been stabbed. Like, and then just done. Right. Like, oh my God. And for nothing. She wasn't even looking at the dude, didn't say nothing to the dude, wasn't paying the man no attention or nothing. He just got up and stabbed her. Like, they should just get it. Listen, I'm an eye for an eye kind of person. I believe if you take a life like that, that's how you should go. Like, somebody should just, you know, take you out back, tie you to a pole, let the family go up there and shank you up. I mean, I hate to say it, I just do. Just like this kid, if he's proven guilty, they need to take him out there and get on a roof and put a hot one in him. Did he kill her? Yeah, he killed her. Yes. She was from not Croatia. She was from what's the country at war? Over there with Russia? Ukraine. She was Ukrainian. She was like a Ukrainian model or something. And she was on a train and he got up and just stabbed her up. Right? Ukraine. Yeah, she's Ukrainian. And like I said, I watched it and I'm a grown ass man. It had me tearing up. I don't know the girl. I just couldn't. I mean, it was just a look. Like the look she had, like she was so helpless and she had a look on her face like she didn't know what was happening to her. You know, and then by the time it was so quick. It was bad, guys. It was bad. Like, and this shit is on the internet. Like when you watch something so horrible that you can't unsee it. Okay. Let me open the phone lines. I've been ranting. I just had to get that out. I had to get that out. All right. Phone lines are back open. The call in numbers on the screen. 757-79. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's Shauna from Nashville.
Hey, Shauna.
Tennessee.
What's going on?
Sorry, I'm a little out of it. I had a lot of blood drawn today and went through a doctor's. But you know, listen, this shit is. This stuff is really sad.
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. Never knew who he was until it came on my feed the other day, and this is crazy. Like people have to be a little bit more like thoughtful and
well, I think if you are sitting around thinking about hurting people, the first thing you need to do is reach out to a psychiatrist, because that's not normal. That's not normal.
Amen.
That's not normal. If you're sitting around thinking what you can do to hurt somebody, first thing you need to do is get you some help and figure out why you want to hurt some people, because that's not normal. Like I don't sit around and go, well, I want to do this and hurt somebody. I don't think like that. And if I did, I would reach out to somebody and say, look, man, I'm having bad thoughts about things.
Right.
And I don't know why I'm doing this. And, you know, maybe somebody talk you down or something. But, you know, if you need to reach out for help, because if you're thinking bad things, there's people out there that'll help you. Right.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
they really are.
Sometimes
I don't care.
Go through your mind, and you got to know when to reach out. Everybody needs help, you know?
And I get so sick and tired of people blaming it on, like, you know, military trauma and just whatever. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Well, I mean, there is people what we got to do is, one, we need to take mental illness more seriously.
Yes, we do.
Definitely.
Amen.
But
yes,
people
sir.
also got to know is, listen, if you were sick, you would go to the doctor. But when people have mental health problems, they don't want to go to the doctor, because then they think people will think they're crazy.
Right.
But listen, you got to take care of your mind just as much as you need to take care of your body. It's the same thing. It's all connected. So if your mind's unhealthy, you're going to be unhealthy. So I say take your brain just as serious as you would take your heart. You know, if your heart was giving you problems, you're going to go to the damn heart doctor. But when your mind is giving you problems, people tend to hide that and don't want to share.
Yeah, they do.
Because they don't want people to judge them.
Yep. A stereotype or whatever you call it. Yeah. It's very sad. I mean, we went through this it doesn't matter, but I'm glad that you're talking about this, but this is like this situation, like I said, I didn't know this guy. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't know Charlie Kirk or see, I feel really rude for saying that, but I don't follow politics. Well, he's not even a freaking politician.
Yeah.
But everybody has to be more open now, especially our generation. You got to open up and say, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. This is all just crazy. This is why I'm finally becoming a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I'm less conspiracy. I used to be major into that stuff, and now like I said, I tell people, I watch it, but I watch it more as entertainment than I do.
See, I can't even do that.
The problem with conspiracy is people sometimes believe everything they see, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that can get you in a world of trouble and lead you down the wrong path sometimes. Not all the time, because sometimes the truth starts out as a conspiracy and then it becomes the truth, right? So the whole time it was really never a conspiracy. It was the truth, but it took time for that information to come out. So, I mean, like I said, I'll watch it and keep an open mind to it. But my first thought is not always just conspiracy. It's not, because I know in this world we live in, there are just crazy ass people, and some people
sadly,
that should have got mental help, but they never reached out to nobody. And there's probably been a lot of signs that boy had some serious issues and just overlooked them, you know, because you know the people are so busy with their own lives that they don't stop to see what's going on around them. And next thing you know, you got your son's a murderer or a damn serial killer, you know?
Oh God. Yeah. And it's like you said with the Irina, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I forget her last name, Irina, the girl that was on the bus. And got,
I thought it was a train, like a subway, like a train.
It was a train, a subway, a train. She was literally like sitting there. And this man was let go from, well, I don't, like he was let go from jail and he unalived her and she was sitting there like, this is why I get so messed up watching
that man. He definitely had some type of mental illness. Now, I ain't saying that's the excuse. I'm not saying that's the excuse.
I understand. I agree.
To do something like that.
That's it.
But then under his breath, he whispered something racist.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
So
okay.
Consciously, he knew what he was doing, and he did this because I believe she was a white woman. That's just my beliefs. And if you listen to what he says, he says something about, you know, I got that white bee.
Oh, okay. So I didn't hear that. Okay. All right. Well, I've been away for a bit. Well, for like 2 weeks, which is a long time on YouTube, but man, it's all crazy. And this world is just going.
It's crazy. All right, Shauna, you be good.
Hey, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Dolly. I always appreciate you. And I'm sorry. I had a big old blood work thing done today, so I'm a little depleted with my blood, but I'm a little outside of my thoughts, but thank you.
All right, I hope you're okay,
Love you, Turtle Gang.
All right, peace. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly, this is George down here in Houston.
What's up, George?
Well, I got a lot of problems with this little case.
Okay, let's hear it. What we're here for.
All right, so they want us to believe that he was shot in the neck. And
it appeared he was shot in the neck. That's what I believe. I mean, what do you believe, Doug?
Well, I mean, shot straight on in the neck.
Okay.
Straight on at the neck. But on the other side of the neck, you would have seen a large blowout over there.
It did look like
you ever shot a 30-06?
No, I've never shot one. No, I can't say I have.
Okay, well, it has a very small entrance wound, and it has a very large out wound.
Yeah,
exit wound. Okay, your exit wound is going to be horrific. It'll blow the other side of his neck out.
The whole side. You saying?
Yeah.
So, what do you believe? He was grazed in the neck, like it just skimmed his neck. What do you think?
I don't know. I've got a few theories going on, but do you ever watch Kim Iverson? Are you familiar with her?
No, can't say I am.
Kim Iverson. Okay, well, she did a story today. She's on Rumble and YouTube. But if you look up Kim Iverson and watch her show today, she does a story about a guy that's another YouTuber who claims that the shot actually came from behind him.
Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, go ahead though.
From a gun that's disguised as a telephone, as a smartphone.
Oh Lord, you remember when they said that the governor shot John F. Kennedy?
I never heard the governor shot him.
What, the dude in the front seat turned around and shot him?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, you're right. The governor was beside what the governor was. It was 3 rows because the governor was shot with the magic bullet, but the guy in the front allegedly turned around and shot. I mean, there's always some conspiracy to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's worth watching. I know you're not a conspiracy guy and you're not into that and all that, but if you look up Kim Iverson and you look at her show today, you'll see her cover this story of this guy that explains that this could have been somebody behind him with a gun that's disguised as a smartphone that shoots him from behind. And what we're actually seeing is the exit wound.
Yeah, but wouldn't that bullet have kept traveling straight and hit somebody else?
Hey, there's a lot we don't know about this thing.
Where
is the bullet?
I mean, I don't know. I guess that bitch kept going because it hit his neck, and the neck it really didn't even hit no bone. So
but if the story that the bullet hit a plate on his vest or on his chest and then ricocheted up into his neck, that would make sense to me. Except that the police said that he wasn't wearing any kind of a plate.
Yeah, but the thing about this, if you shot a 30-06 into a vest, it would go right through the vest. It wouldn't ricochet.
Well, whether it ricocheted or it didn't, the police said he wasn't wearing
a vest,
a breastplate.
Okay.
Okay. Now I don't think he was wearing a vest, not like a vest, but just he may have had a plate on.
Yeah.
And possibly the bullet hit the top of that plate and ricocheted up into his neck.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Except the police said that he wasn't wearing any plate or vest.
Yeah.
So I guess we won't know any more than what they want to tell us is what I'm getting at. I mean, I could say that we won't know more until we get an autopsy, but I don't know if we're going to get a straightforward autopsy report either.
I just don't think, like, let's just say there's this big conspiracy to unalive this guy. I don't think he's important enough to do that unless you say, well, he was these young people were rallying around him and it was growing to a massive surge and it was able to change an election. Then I could say, okay, well, there may be something to that, but I don't want to say I don't think he was not important. I just don't think he was important enough for them to conspire to, like, let's just say our government, to, like, Hillary Clinton didn't take him out. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I don't think.
There might be another country that might want to take him out, though.
Maybe.
I know you don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is this is not adding up because what they're telling us is that there was a man on top of a building with a high-powered rifle, and that rifle could have been placed there a month ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay? But if he had been directly hit in the neck with that rifle, that bullet would have blown out the backside of his neck. And I didn't see that. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, but if he was shot in the back, wouldn't it have blown out the front of his neck? It's the same effect, right?
Well, that may be what we're seeing. That just may be what we're seeing is a smaller caliber. Because if you're going to put a gun disguised as a smartphone, you're going to be using a small caliber.
Yeah, but a 22 wouldn't do that. Or a 25
but a
wouldn't do that. It'd leave
would.
a little damn hole inside, a little bit bigger than a BB in your neck.
A 380 would.
A 380 might, yeah. That's usually what I carry on me because it's compact and small. That's what I prefer because basically it's a baby 9mm. And that'll lay you down. You ain't gonna walk away from a 380 shot. It's just
not if you're hitting the right place, you ain't.
Yeah, it's just big enough to do the damage it needs to do. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I've never shot nobody in the neck to know what happens. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know
Well, your neck ain't very thick. I mean, a 380.
That's what I'm saying. It ain't very much there, but skin and cartilage and muscle. It ain't hitting no bone. It don't look like it hit him directly into like the spine.
Right.
Or
exactly.
it would have snapped.
So
it would have
just
snapped
going through a little bit of muscle and tendon and mostly artery.
It would have snapped his head way back too if he would have been shot dead on, like like that. I don't know. I don't know, George. I'm gonna go back and look at it a little bit more and check it. Check it a little bit. I just think right now I'm going with it was one shooter. It was possibly this young man, and
I ain't seen him with a gun.
Well, it did show him on the roof. He did have a towel and he did set something down. Now, when he jumped off the building, I didn't see it. It's hard to make out because it's like a Bigfoot video. But we just watched a news clip where they show him highlighted walking across the roof, and he definitely has something in his hand. And it's wrapped in a towel, but is that the weapon or is that something else? I don't know.
I've owned a Mauser before, and I'm telling you, I'm 5'10". You're not going to put a Mauser down your pant leg and walk around with it without somebody noticing it.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
And especially with that big scope on it. And you're not going to get up there and you're not going to mount that scope on there and be accurate with it.
That's what I thought.
You got to zero that scope up to that rifle every time you put it on there.
Yeah, sight it. I said the same thing. I said, so he got up there, sighted the right, but maybe he used a screwdriver for something else and he never did that. And there may be people just assuming that he put the scope on there, and he might.
I'm just telling you, you're not putting that big ass rifle. First of all, the barrel would be at his ankle, and the butt of the gun would be up in his armpit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Okay, and the scope would be right about where your pant loop is, and you would see that this guy's got something in his pants.
Yeah, and how did he just get in the building and able to get to the roof? I mean, there's some strange things in it to me, right? There's some strange things in it to me, but it may be all explainable, and we just don't know all the information right now.
I'm just wondering if this guy ain't some kind of a patsy. I'm wondering if he ain't been turned in some kind of patsy. And
well, they're saying he's not cooperating, but his family is, and his boyfriend is.
Well, what does not cooperating mean? Does that mean that he's just not confessing to it?
He's not confessing. That's exactly what it means. But they're saying he confessed on Discord to other people that he had did it and he had the opportunity to do it and he was going to do something crazy.
Oh, and there aren't other intelligence agencies that couldn't hack into his whatever and put in there whatever they wanted to?
Well, I'm sure they're going through everything he got right now.
I think the FBI is kind of lacking on transparency here with what they know and what they don't know.
Yeah. It ain't so much the FBI I worry about. It's the CIA that I worry about.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they probably got some people in there that work back and forth.
Yeah, like it's that group of people that scare me the most in this country, because that's basically like the Russian KGB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you
got people that they can communicate back and forth and orchestrate whatever they want to, whatever their agenda is. If they have an agenda, they can put their people together to orchestrate whatever they want to orchestrate, no matter what three-letter group it is.
Anything's possible. But I appreciate you calling in, George.
All right. I'll let you later.
All right, peace. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. So many people don't just see this as a cut and dry shooting. Now, me, when I watched it, I was like, yeah, he got shot. Right? I didn't dissect every single thing like it was a frog in science class. Okay. I didn't be like, there's a kidney, there's an organ. Let me cut this thing open and break it down like that. Because I know there's crazy people in this world, but listen, I do know that some things start off as a conspiracy and they sometimes become the truth. I mean, we still can't explain what happened to damn John F. Kennedy. Okay. That happened, what, 50 years ago? Like I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't trust my government. because that's not a good thing to say in this world. I just don't see, I can't right now find a reason they would want to hurt this guy. And we're dealing with people in this country that have mental health issues. If we're being lied to, it's a believable lie. Let me say that. I believe that this person is responsible. I believe that it's some of the things I can't explain, right? Like, how did nobody notice him? Where did he change clothes at? There's still some odd things to it. But in the end of it, I don't think the people behind him shot him in the neck. I don't think he got shot from the grassy knoll, that he got shot in this side of his neck. There's no reason for the government or the people that could perform the autopsies to lie. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Jack Ruby wasn't involved. Okay. I mean, I ain't trying to make a joke or light of the situation, because what happened is tragic. But I'm not a gun expert. Okay. I'm not even a damn YouTube expert. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express one time. All I can do is I'm an idiot giving my opinion. That's it. That's what y'all tuned into tonight, right? I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to open the phone lines back up, and I want to hear from you guys. Let's debate it, right? This is what got Charlie shot. And I debate people up here all the time, right? And so nobody, please don't shoot me, right? But I showed you my bulletproof vest, and I don't think nobody would want to hurt me like that. Maybe walk up and whip my ass, maybe, possibly. I hope that's the case. Listen, if you ever get mad at Dolly, just come up and want to fight. Don't shoot me. That's the problem with the world today. It's like, just man up. Let's take it to the street. And then when it's over, we buy each other a beer and sip a beer like the old school days. That it don't happen no more like that. People rather just kill you than fight with you. And two old ass people shouldn't be fighting, right? When I see two old people fighting, I know instantly that one of them don't have no damn sense. Okay. Because we that old, you shouldn't be fighting about anything. If you don't agree with somebody, walk away from them. Go drink a beer till you do agree. Okay. If the girl's pretty, okay, drink till she's pretty, then I guarantee you'll agree with everything everybody says. That's all you got to do. All right. Drink it out. Okay. Until one of you change your mind. That's all right. Phone lines are back open. Call-in number is on the screen. So most of the people think this is not just a cut and dry shooting. That's kind of surprising to me. But there's a lot of people that are into that conspiracy stuff. Dolly. Hello.
Hello, Dolly?
Yes.
Hey, it's Tom from Nashville. I'd called in before, and I had told JP a joke about the bird that swallows.
Okay.
Remember.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, but this whole thing is something that I have cried for days.
Uh-huh.
And Charlie Kirk was nothing but a very good man who wanted people to love Jesus, who wanted people to understand the Constitution, who wanted people to know that we can be better than what we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing he wanted.
Yeah, I mean,
and it breaks my heart.
Now, I'm going to say this. I've never really, people say he's a racist and stuff like that. I've never heard him say anything. Me, myself. I ain't saying he ain't never said nothing, but me, myself, I've never heard him say anything like that. And I believe that, he's a Christian man. He stated his Christian beliefs. Now, everything he said, I didn't always agree with, but that's human nature. You're not going to always agree with everything everybody says. But never would, anybody should want to hurt you because they don't agree with you. I think there's room for everybody's opinion in this world, and I believe he was a good guy myself.
Yeah, I do too. And we followed him, and we saw the turning point, like things that he had on online, and we follow we don't listen to any mainstream media or anything. We don't listen to that shit because it doesn't even matter, because all they're spewing is lies.
Yeah.
Because they're doing what they are wanting to share to everybody, that is their
narrative,
mantra, right?
Yeah,
their narrative. It doesn't matter. But guess what? When Charlie Kirk, I've listened to all your callers tonight, buddy, and I've listened to them. And there is a whistleblower of the FBI called Kyle Seraphin. A lot of your viewers probably have heard of him. If you haven't, you probably need to look him up. Kyle Seraphin. He says that Charlie Kirk always wore a vest. And underneath his vest, underneath his shirt, was a microphone for YouTube, because he was big on YouTube, but, they didn't display that on their Rumble or whatever. And he says that when the blowout of the shirt happened at the impact, that it likely hit the microphone and ricocheted up through his neck. And it blew out his neck and he went down. That's it. And he has people in the FBI that has shared with him that very narrative, right? That, hey, this is what happened. This is what we believe what happened. And the guys that were behind him, one of them, the guy that was in the white, was his best friend his whole life.
Yeah.
So that guy that they're saying, hey, he pulled out a cell phone, he shot him in the neck or whatever, he said it's BS. There's no way. And the guy behind him, he said that there was some sort of bee or whatever that was flying around them at that time or whatever. And that couldn't have been. Now, could it be that the security that they hired on detail on site for that day was compromised? I don't know. That's not for me to say.
Let me ask you this, though. If you believe that, the microphone ricocheted the bullet. Now, I have little microphones that, most YouTubers use, the DJI little clip-on mics, or the Rogue mics. Would that stop with a 30-06 at that short?
Well, that is the question, because I have a 30-06, and that's what I've killed deer with my whole damn life, right? And I'm 61 years old. I've killed deer my whole life with 30-06, and guess what? It does the job.
Yeah.
Because whatever. But he said if it has any deflection point, and he's done the research, Kyle Seraphin. You got to look him up.
Okay, I will.
Any deflection point, then it could divert it up to his neck, which does that, right? So this kid was going for his chest. Also, that the kid was living with a transgender furry that was his boyfriend.
Yes,
that is a fact. Right? So,
well, that's what the news is reporting.
That's not a conspiracy theory or whatever. Yeah. That is fact now out in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Right?
So just because it's in mainstream media, though, don't make it a fact. Let's remember that.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but now
allegedly.
When the mainstream media is reporting it, it's fact, right? Because we did it first.
I used to think that. Now I just say allegedly everything because we don't.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, for sure. But now it is fact, right? So this dude was now they're like the FBI is like going after a fraction of people that were in this infiltration of a online group.
Yes.
That already knew about it, and we're like stating, hey, something's going to happen to Charlie Kirk tomorrow.
Yeah.
In this group.
I seen it on Facebook, a post of somebody saying something was going to happen. And I was thinking, listen, are they just trying to predict the future but I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe.
No, I don't either.
Out of all the days, but I don't know how many threats that man gets or how many,
No such thing. There's no such. He gets a lot of threats, right?
Yeah.
Because he speaks the truth. I will tell you, my wife and I cried for days, Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. We didn't even know the man. Now, we went to the Reawaken America tour down in Nashville to the Global Bible Vision Church whenever they had that there. And we saw like General Michael Flynn. We saw like Eric Trump. We saw Cash Patel. I got to like have a picture with Cash Patel and Michael Flynn, and me and my family did with Michael Flynn and all that. And it was glorious because all they did was glorify our United States and glorify God. What is wrong with that?
Yeah.
What is wrong with that mentality?
I don't think nothing's wrong with it, but I mean, I understand that everybody's not religious. Me, myself.
Well, I'm not talking about being religious. It wasn't about being reawaken your soul for spiritual things. It was like for American things, even though there was a spiritual aspect for it, because just like Charlie Kirk said, he said, you cannot be a part of Christianity and not think that it's a part of our United States, because they're in the same, because they were built on the same thing.
Yes, I agree with that. Like I said, I am a Christian man, and I can understand that everybody's not Christian, and I don't push my beliefs on everybody else. Just like I don't want everybody else's beliefs pushed on me. And that's where there's a difference in certain groups of people. Like certain groups out there, they want to push their beliefs on you. They're not good. They're not happy enough that you accept them. They don't. You would think they just would want acceptance, but they don't. They want to push their mindset onto you. And usually when you're at our age, you the person that you are. There ain't no change in me. Like, it's just the way it. I'm fucking.
There's no change in me either.
I'm 51.
Dude, you said you're 51. I'm 61. Dude, there ain't no change in this dude here. I got my ass beat. I got my ass beat as a kid. I got my ass beat in school. Whenever I was like, being stupid, whatever. I mean, and then I beat some other people's ass. Guess what? That was the deal.
Yeah.
People need their ass beat now.
You win some, you lose some. You lick your wounds, and you keep on moving. Hey, look, I appreciate you calling in and sharing with us.
Listen, we love you, Dolly, and my wife watches you every damn day. I promise you.
Awesome. Give her a big hug for me, and thanks, guys, for supporting the channel. Y'all are great.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, peace. Yeah, I mean, it's a different area. Look, yeah, you may change a young person's mind, but listen, you ain't going to change an old ass dude's mind that's set in their ways. So when you trying, you just doing it for nothing, right? When you get to be who you are, that's who you are, right? And it's hopefully you came up with good morals and good values, and you hold on to the morals and values, because a lot of times in this world, they're being lost. And it's crazy that you have to fight for these things that people should want to be good people anyway. You shouldn't want to hurt people. That's not normal thinking, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being religious. There's nothing wrong with not being religious. That's on you. Listen, when you leave this, you come into this world by yourself, and you leave this world by yourself, okay? Hopefully in the hearts and minds of your loved ones. That's what keeps you around forever. People remembering you and thinking good thoughts about you and living in the hearts and minds. That's how you live forever. You live in the hearts and minds of other people. So you want to go out in this world as a good person. You don't want to be remembered as an asshole or a bad person after you're gone. And like I said, if you didn't respect Charlie while he was alive, show the man some respect in death. Now, when I see people laughing and being glad he's dead, it just shows me you're a shitty person. You are a shitty human being. And I wouldn't want nothing to do with you, right? I don't care if his dog died. Show some respect to his pet, right? It's disgusting, the behavior of some people. People that don't value human life. I don't have nothing in common with you, right? I just don't. I look at life and the time we give each other as the most precious thing we have. And I want to spend my time positive, good vibes around good people. Shitty people just like, man, like if your life is so miserable, don't take it out on other people. Okay. Don't make my life miserable because your life is fucking shitty. That's how I look at it, right? So many people like, you ever heard the saying misery loves company? Right? I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. So if you come around me with some bad thoughts and bad energy, stay the hell away from me. You come up to me ever, be positive, loving, caring, and I'm going to give you that same energy. Like I said, there's this time I came from where you had to be rough and tough, but at the same time, you was a gentleman. You were polite. You were respectful. You respect your elders. Kids these days, they don't respect their elders. A teenager would knock me out as quick as I said something to them, right? They have no respect for old people anymore, right? They don't respect their elders. Nobody will hold the damn door for you unless you in your 40s or 50s. It's getting kind of bad out there. And just think about this. These people that are monsters right now in our societies, they're having kids. Imagine how they're going to raise their kids, the next generation that's coming after this one. Oh my God. I don't even want to be around them. They'll kick your damn walker out from under you and back over you with the car and then say it was your fault and play victim. That's the society we're living in. And we got to do better. We got to do better, especially, I don't know. Like, how do you fix a problem that is so far out of reach, right? Because the thing is you got to fix the problem, but how do you fix it? You can't fix hate with hate, right? You got to shine a light of love, love the haters until they feel the love. It's the only thing I can think of, because I know this hate and hating each other, all you're going to do is hate worse and worse every day. And what the hell is that going to solve? What does violence really solve? Right? If you do something, and what I think, this is the bad thing that really scares me, guys, before I open the phone lines back up, is when somebody over here does something bad, then somebody over here does something bad. And the bad thing about that is there's people in the middle of that are bystanders. It ain't a dog in the fight. Okay, they ain't got a dog in the fight. And usually when this side does something bad, then this side does something bad. But listen, I come from an era, like I said, this is another thing my mama taught me, and I'm giving y'all a lot of mama lessons tonight. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Sometimes you got to be the bigger man and go, okay, I'm not going to respond with violence. Even when people use violence against you. You got to know when to turn the cheek and when to walk away. Okay. Now, I ain't going to turn the cheek and let you punch me in both of them. There's a time to fight back too, right? There's a time to fight back. Never let somebody hurt you. Okay. So if somebody tries to hurt you, definitely don't let you get the wrong impression. Defend yourself. Because I can tell you now, you ain't going to put your hands on me, right? You ain't going to put your hands on me. But I do know when to say, hey, I'm going to walk away from this. Now, if you run after me and try to put your hands on me, I'm going to jail. I might go to prison. All right. That's how I was raised. but I don't tend to start shit with people. Right? I'm too old for that. I don't want to get my ass whipped. I'm an old ass man. My bones are brittle, right? So I ain't starting nothing. But I can tell you now, I'm always going to defend myself. Always, no matter what. And I encourage people too, don't let somebody just beat on you. Do what you got to do, right? And let the jury decide afterwards, because that's what it's going to be. That's just there's and I just think that mindset is different, and these young kids are being raised by the internet. They're being raised by PlayStation 5 and Xbox One, and they're not being raised to respect people. And they grow up and they become adults that don't respect people and don't value human life. And we're seeing more and more of that in our society. I don't know how to change it, but I know what I'm seeing. How to fix it is going to take somebody way smarter than Dolly. All right. Give me 1 second. My kid is calling and I don't have my phone on me. All right, let's make sure it ain't important. She was going through a crisis last night because a father's job is never done. Her dryer broke. Okay, so it's like total crisis, Dad. Right? And I'm like, what's wrong? I'm thinking of something bad. She's like, I put my clothes in the dryer and the dryer's broke. Right? And I'm like, oh my God, because she's, young kids they're dramatic. Okay. Everything's the end of the world to young people. I don't know. I never thought like that when I was a young person. Another thing I grew up on is either F it or duck it. Okay. Like duct tape. If you can't duct tape it, then F it. All right. Get a new dryer. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Right. But like I said, kids are so different now. And in school, they're being pushed this whole woke, politically correct thing. And I honestly think they're brainwashing our kids. I feel that they're brainwashing our kids. Now, me and my daughter, look, I love her to death. We have way different views on things. Way different, right? But I try to be cool with her no matter what she supports. I'll support it with her. I'll go. I ain't saying I support it, but I will take part in it with her, even things I disagree. Right. So, I wanted her to, to be interested in the political stuff and that, but not to be extreme about things. And, so there was a time where she was into Bernie Sanders, feel the burn. Right. So, and now listen, I don't agree with Bernie Sanders. I don't. There's some things he says that I can kind of get aboard with, you know what I'm saying? But I knew the free college shit was a lie. Ain't nothing free in this world. And if it is, it ain't going to be nothing back worth anything. Okay. But my daughter was just a kid in school and she was like, the kids for some reason loved old Bernie. It was creepy. Right. So I called her mom up and said, hey, go pick up Tiff from school. I'm going to come get her from you. And I'm going to take her to a Bernie Sanders rally. Right? Because she liked I bought her a Feel the Burn t-shirt. Right? So and she knows I don't support Bernie Sanders. So I take her. This is where it comes in because this is important in this world. So I take her there. I sit there and I just disagree with everything the damn man is completely saying. But I'm peaceful. I'm calm. I'm nice to the people sitting around me. I'm respectful. And this is probably one of the things that made me proud as a father. Right. So I take her to her. I'm a good guy. I don't outrage. I don't scream bullshit, Bernie. I don't say nothing rude or mean to anybody there. I buy her a t-shirt. And the next day she posts on her Facebook. She's like, I wish more people would act like my father. Respectful. Even though he didn't agree with what's going on, he didn't say nothing crazy. He kept his cool. He was respectful to everybody. You know, and that's the thing. If you disagree with something, you just disagree with it. You don't have to be an asshole because you don't agree with these people. I mean, there may be things that you find that you do agree with, right? Like Bernie said, I don't think you should work at Walmart, $1 billion company, and be on welfare. Pay your workers. I agree with that. Pay your damn workers. You know what I'm saying? But everything else he said, no, I didn't get down with it. But I did find things that I could say, okay, that, you know, I could get aboard, you know, something like, I agree with a little bit of that, but all this other stuff I don't agree with, you know. But did I outburst and be like, Bernie, you suck, right? No, like, and we see people that were going to rallies on the right and they were acting crazy in the crowd. They were screaming, throwing shoes and all kinds of shit, right? Like, why would you show up just to be an a-hole, right? You knew you were going to be that before you even went, right? Like, if you hate somebody, why even tune into it, right? Because you have to allow that hate into your heart, okay? You have to allow that. You have to be so, like, why, if you hate this man, why are you watching what he says? The hell with what he says. His opinion's like an a-hole. Everybody got one. Right now, a lot of people respected his opinion, but it's no different than anybody else's opinion. He's no different than you. He's no different than me. That's why people are standing outside today holding signs. When I was driving down the street, I am Charlie. We're all the same. We're all the same. We all have our opinions. Should we die for our opinions? No, absolutely not. And, you know, when I see these people with the signs, I'm like, you know what? You are Charlie. You are absolutely Charlie. Your opinion matters just as much as his opinion matters, just as much as my opinion matters. But you know what the thing is? All lives matter. Not just certain lives, but all lives. It don't matter if your views, if you're white, black, brown, Asian, purple, from another world, your life matters. Okay. So let's open the phone lines back up. I just wanted to get that rant out and share that story with you guys. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Who's this? Where you calling from?
This is Neil Daniel from Kingsland, Texas.
What's up, Neil?
I follow you and PJ like clockwork. You guys bring joy to my everyday.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, I was following the Charlie Kirk from the very beginning. JLR broke with it, and I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were really quick to follow, which I appreciate because I watched both you guys. I watched several YouTubers.
Okay.
But anyway, you advised, man, don't watch it. I can't unsee it. I wished I hadn't have watched it. And tonight you were talking about that. And when I was 7 years old, just to quickly share, my mom and dad had separated. And my real dad's name was Neil E. Schaefer. And now I'm Neil E. Daniel. But they had separated, and we were living with my grandpa because we had nowhere to live while they were separated, with my grandpa Smith, who I dearly love, who's with Jesus now.
Okay.
But he set up for several nights with a shotgun. And, you know, it was different times. I'm old school. I'm 66 years old. I was born in 1959. But he set up for several nights that I can remember with a shotgun, rifle, and pistol, whatever he had on hand. And my grandma Smith would answer the phone and say, Neil, which is my father, because I'm Neil Lee Jr. Don't come over. You're Carl will shoot you. And so I had to go through that when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And my dad came over. He wasn't armed. He broke through the window into the little front room that my grandpa had built. And my mom and my two sisters, my brother and I was on the top bunk. He came through the window unarmed. And my grandpa came in the dark and shot him with a 22 revolver and emptied the revolver. It was a 6-shot revolver, 22, into my dad. And it paralyzed him for life. I lost him when I was 15. But I was literally I was literally maybe 6 feet away.
What, did your dad and your grandpa not get along, or did he not know who it was and he thought it was an intruder?
No, I think my grandpa couldn't sleep a night after that. I love my grandpa and my dad, my real father. To this day, they're both with Jesus. They're both believers, I think. I believe they're in heaven. But anyway, I had to go through that at a young age, and it, of course, traumatized me. And then it's kind of like we weren't allowed to talk about it, and I would go in and look at the tile on the floor, and I could see my grandma had tried to clean it up. And I was literally in the next room with my mom. They gathered, my mom was so scared, she gathered in grandpa's room. And my mother, she was hysterical and was scared. And so my grandma came in and gathered us kids while my dad was laying on the floor, and he was still coherent. He wasn't dead, but he was paralyzed.
Wow.
And we went into the next room, and it's the first time in my life that I ever heard my mom pray. My mom, I remember her jumping up and down hysterically and said, "I don't know what to do. Maybe we should pray." And I remember we all kneeled down beside my grandpa's bed. And she prayed for the first time. Well, my mother grew on to be a believer, and I'm a believer to this day. I'm 66 years old. I'm retired. I drive truck. This is the second time I've only ever called, but I've been following you since the beginning of the Sebastian case. You got me interested in true crime, and so I follow true crime. It's like one of my favorite hobbies.
Awesome.
But anyway,
I'm sorry to hear about your family stuff, man. I wish I could give you a big hug. I know that's would have been tough on you.
Brother, it helps me to talk about this, but the reason I'm calling is when you said don't watch what happened to Charlie Kirk. It's kind of taken me a lifetime, and I've never had counseling. I don't know. I'm not against counseling, but I don't know that it really helps. But I do believe
you'd be surprised.
Well, I do believe it. I do believe that just talking to people sometimes helps. Okay?
It does. It definitely does.
Yeah,
especially if somebody will listen to you.
And I think I've moved on in life and do fine. I'm doing fine. God has blessed me. I have a wife and several children. I still have 3 children. At 66, I have 2 twins. I never dreamed myself as having twins, but I have twins. I have an older boy who I love to death that lives in Colorado Springs. He's like in his 30s.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I have noticed that since that happened, that I'm like scared to death. Like I got 3 million miles driving truck. And the night I called you, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was about Emmanuel
Haro, yes.
And I told your other half, I told PJ, I said, we need to get like GPS on all the trucks, and all they need to do is push a button like when Amazon delivers, when they pick up trash and where they dump it, so they could have an exact location of where they dump that trash. So when a case like Emmanuel Haro, they can say, well, it's too many days, we don't know. They can go back and look and
that's
figure
smart.
it out.
That's smart.
Yeah. So that's what I called you. The only time I've ever called. I wanted to talk to you numerous times, and tonight I was like, man, I gotta call up because I've been following this case so heavily. I grew up, like I said, I'm old school. I grew up. I was born in the little town of Alamosa, Colorado, and I grew up in Colorado, and we hunted elk. My whole family. It was a family thing. You'd have like 20 aunts and uncles, grandpa and grandma hunted elk, all of us. And I can remember when I was a boy, at one time we had 14, at the end of the season, we had 14 elk hanging in our garage. But when today, now because it's modern day, maybe people aren't familiar with a 30-06, but a 30-06 was like 99.9% of what every elk hunter used. That was the rifle of choice, bolt action. None of these AR-15s, they didn't exist. And an
Do
incredible rifle.
people hunt with an AR-15?
I don't think so. I don't even think in a lot of states, I don't think it's even legal to hunt elk because it's not a big enough caliber. But a large caliber rifle, like people argue to defend your home, if I was to defend my home, I think a 30-06 rifle is like the best, or a shotgun is the best defense you could have.
Yeah.
But a 30-06, I'm so familiar with it, but we never had one that broke down. Now, I've been hearing from numerous sources, and I don't know, we never had a breakdown 30-06.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
I heard about the 30-06, and Cash Patel said they found that screwdriver on the roof, that it was a breakdown 30-06 Mauser is what they're reporting. And I thought, if this guy is trying to push a narrative of anti-fascist, whatever, anti-Nazi, why would he choose, and maybe never thought about this, but they said it was a Mauser, which is made by the Germans, and the 30-06, they said, if you do the research, they said it went through 2 world wars, World War I and World War II. That was the most common rifle that people carried. And I can remember when I was a kid, when we would go to sight in our 30-06s, you could buy it for like dirt cheap. You could buy a 30-06 ammo, and you could shoot, use that for target practice. It wasn't allowed on elk because the bullets don't mushroom. They're armor piercing. It was okay to use for target practice. But I remember that as a kid, you could pick them up for like a fourth of the price, but you weren't legally allowed to hunt with it, but you could use it to sight your rifle in. But I am so familiar with a 30-06, and I know the power of what it does. And you were talking tonight, like maybe it hit a bulletproof vest, which now, like you, I've heard he wasn't wearing. But I know that when a bullet—
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Daddy said stop complaining or I'll give you something to whine ABT.
Gunnersville girl, you're absolutely right. We live in a world where the offended Dolly said stop complaining or I'll give you something to whine about. Yeah, like I'm proud to say I'm old school. I'm glad to say, I'm glad in the time that I came up. I'm proud of that. I think I don't know if it's something to be proud of, but I look at it like I'm glad I was born in the era that I was born in. All right, go ahead.
God chose for the time that we're born in, Dolly. But anyway, it's so different from the world we live in today. I remember when I was a boy, I went down and I saw it in the newspaper in the little town I lived in eastern Colorado. For my high school, I lived in a little town of Lyman, Colorado. And we moved down there, and Coast to Coast, which I don't know if they even exist anymore, but
Art Bell.
Yeah, it was called no, not Art Bell. The name of the grocery store was Coast to Coast. And they were all over in the little towns, and it'd be like your dime store where you could go and buy. It was like a hardware combination of everything, like a general store.
Yeah.
And every little town had a Coast to Coast. Even the little town of Monte Vista, Colorado, where my dad got shot, they had Coast to Coast.
When I was a kid, it was Piggly Wiggly and Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. Well, it's like that, okay? So you know what I'm talking about. Well, I remember they had an ad. You could buy a 22 semi-automatic, which all back then was bolt action. I went and bought it, 22 semi-automatic, and I didn't have to have my parents. I was probably only like 16 years old then. I went and bought that rifle. I used it for hunting coyotes and stuff. But we live in such a different age today. It was on people's mind. It's so different. But there was no violence when I grew up. There was no violence like what we see today. And so it was a whole different time period. So people wouldn't even be, unless you're older, and you're not as old as I am, but it was we grew up in a peaceful time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I could ride my bicycle down the road and fish for bluegill, 6 miles from my house, and my mom didn't have to worry about me. In this day and age, my twins are 12, about the same age I was when I would ride, and I don't even want them going anywhere. If I take them if they want to go fishing, I take them and I sit back and I watch them, so they're supervised, because we don't live like I did when I was 12. The only other thing that I wanted, well, there's tons of stuff, but I'm not going to take up all your time. I know my call is limited, but I'll call again sometime and we can talk more. But anyway, my son, Bridger, I have twins. I never pictured myself with twins. One twin is named Bridger. My other twin is named Jesse. And I named them because I lived in Wyoming and run a trap line. And my boy, I named them after like Jim Bridger, the mountain man, the trapper. And I named Jesse after the Jesse James, just like old names. But anyway, my little boy Bridger came up to me yesterday or the day before. I lose a little track of time. And you've heard the expression "out of the mouth of babes." He came up to me, and several times when I was following the shooting of Charlie Kirk, he'd say, "Dad, what's going on?" And I would just fill him in. I didn't try to give him all the details. I'd say, "Well, I'm watching this, and this is what happened." So he came up to me yesterday, and he goes, "Dad, do you know why they shot Charlie Kirk?" And I said, "Why, son?" He said, "Because he told the truth." But he said a lot of people don't like the truth. But he said the whole world knows about Charlie Kirk. And we just live in a little town.
Smart kid to know that, right?
It was profound. We just live in the little town of Kingsland, Texas. And we have an Ace Hardware, which is an awesome store. And amazingly, for a little town, I hear it's the second biggest Ace Hardware in the entire United States. But my son, Bridger, he probably went with his mom to get some dirt or fertilizer or something, because my wife, she gardens a lot. And he goes, "Dad, they even know about it at Ace. They got a sign up about Charlie Kirk." And I'm like, I was just like amazed. But he said, "Dad, he told the truth, but a lot of people today don't want to hear the truth."
They don't.
And coming from a 12-year-old. So that's what I wanted to share tonight, Dolly.
All right.
And it's such an honor to get to talk to you.
Oh, it ain't no big deal. I ain't nobody special.
All right. My name's Neil Daniel. I've talked long enough, but I will call you again.
All right, Neil.
So now you know who I am.
Neil
I'm
Daniel.
a daily fan. Neil Daniel from Kingsland, Texas. Originally Cody, Wyoming.
Okay. All right. I don't know too much about
brother.
Wyoming, but you be good. Peace, my man.
All right. Take care, brother.
All right. Peace. Yeah. The good thing about Dolly Vision is we don't have a lot of young people here. So there ain't a lot of, we all grew up in an era that was a lot different than what we see now. Okay. And like I said, I'm proud to say I'm old school. That, listen, when you got your ass whipped, you couldn't call CPS. There wasn't no CPS. Nobody cared that your parents whipped the shit out you. Your neighbor could whip you. All right. You out in the street doing something wrong, anybody could come up out and smack you on the ass, be like, "Go home." Right. It was a better time, I believe. And I know every generation will say that. Well, my time was the greatest time. But if you grew up in an era where there wasn't a lot of crime, or you grew up in a place that you could leave your doors unlocked and sit on the porch and drink sweet tea and run around barefooted, to me, that was great. Right now, I live in the city. I had to lock the door. People are crazy. When I go to the store, I strap up, and especially if I go late at night. Not always, but sometimes. I used to always be armed at 24/7. If I went anywhere, I have one under my seat and one on me. Right? Always. Now I'm getting a little slack on that. You know what I'm saying? But I always think about things like, and being into true crime makes me think about it more. How many crazy people are out there, and how many murderers are out there, and how many people just hurt you for nothing in this world that we live in. It's crazy. Now, like I said, when I was a kid, there were serial killers and stuff like that still, but it wasn't as publicized, right? Like everybody wasn't connected. The world was a lot bigger place. The internet has made the world so small, right? That we hear about, it don't matter where you live. You can live in a little town in Wyoming, like he said, and we're going to hear about what happened. It's going to be on news, especially if it's something really bad. It's going to make national news, and everybody's going to, because y'all ain't have TV. We had TV. I remember when HBO came out. I remember when we first got cable. I remember when TV cut off, right? And it would just play the national anthem. And I remember when we got cable. I remember when CNN came out. I remember watching Ronald Reagan get shot. The first assassination as me as a child, I remember, was the attempt on the life of Ronald Reagan. Anybody remember that? I know some of y'all was around for that. I was a little kid, but I still remember it to this day, right? What else? The space shuttle blowing up. There's just some of those things that you stick with you. And I remember when we got cable and you could watch like CNN and different things. I remember when Nintendo came out, it was like the greatest thing ever, right? Like the greatest thing ever. Times were different. Times were just way different. And by the time Nintendo started coming out, though, it started to get a little bad. That's when, things started to change, and we started to see a lot more violence in our world. And maybe this violence happened before, but like I said, you started to really have cable TV, news, 24-hour news channels, and they were just reporting every bit of doom and gloom from around the world. MTV, when they actually played videos. Yes, right? MTV is pretty much obsolete. I think there's still MTV2. And they, like, if on public access, I don't know. But yeah, MTV kind of doomed themselves. They had this really big surge during reality TV. But what they did do is they killed their channel with it because they stopped playing music. And when they did that, it tanked pretty bad. I still wish MTV was a music channel and that's all they played was music, and they did really good stuff like they did back in those days. But times change, people change, and society changes, and we're at one of those points that's it's like the tipping point. It's the tipping point where these people thought that by hurting Charlie Kirk, they were going to stop this movement that has been going on in our country that we've been seeing. All they did was amplify it, right? And I don't want to give them no advice, right? I don't want to give them any advice to how to make yourself look better, right? But they're destroying themselves from the inside, and we've seen that in this last election. Okay, we've seen that. We've seen states that were never red turn red, right? We were seeing vote numbers, people voting that had never voted. And I ain't talking about dead people in the graveyard. I'm talking about people that are actually alive. People are over the lawlessness. They're over the chaos, because a lot of us old school people, we didn't grow up in an era where there was that. There was protests in the 60s. I missed that. I was born in the 70s, right? So there was a lot. People fought for these changes in our world so the place would be better and there would be more diversity, right? And everybody try to get along. But like I said, with the media breaking us apart, with two different agendas, and it, like I said, it don't matter what side you're on, they tell you what they want you to hear. I don't think any of them tell you the honest truth. Okay. You turned Hollywood down. Now, with that said, let's open the phone lines back up. I want to hear from some more of your beautiful people, your opinions on the whole Charlie Kirk thing. What should happen to this dude? Should they take him out back and execute him? Is he innocent? Right, man.
Hey.
Hey. Rose from Virginia. All right, Rose. What's good?
Hope you're patient with me like you've been with all your callers tonight.
Oh, hell no, Rose.
You know, I would never want to get on your bad side, because the way you roasted that early in your show tonight, somebody said something just that hit you the wrong way, and you first lambasted her and then you roasted her.
Well, you know, sometimes people get that. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you don't do it to me, and if you do, be kind.
I don't know, Rose. You might get it tonight. You see what my shirt says, right?
Where's my PJ?
She is in bed. She's not here to save you tonight, Rose. So you better
She's
skate
my girl. I love
you
her.
better skate on thin ice, woman.
All right. First word, red rum.
Uh-huh.
That's what this is. It was a murder.
Whooping at school
I
meant
don't
whooping
care
at
what
home.
you think or what you believe. There was a horrific murder.
Uh-huh.
I think we can all agree someone was unalived.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about that? Now, before you go ranting and answering my question, Dolly, you see, I think Charlie Kirk, and I really never knew much about him until this happened. You see, I'm going to admit that. I really did not know that man.
Yeah. Well, I was familiar with him.
Yeah, but when this happened, I did a little studying up, okay? And what I see is that was becoming prominent. There was a lot of people that want God back in our world, in America. You know, we want that kind of environment where we, at least in almost all religions teach morality, like you just don't murder. But then some of the religions use it in the form of, we are all that, then we can murder. But I digress. I'm afraid that he was developing a momentum, a memento, you know, that he would have become in the next couple of years, by the time the new election comes up, quite powerful. And I think that scared maybe certain people, because a lot of people have latched onto him, just even college students and young people, because he did speak about Christ. Now, you know, there's more to it than the story, but the bottom line, it's murder.
Hey, hold on a minute, Rose. Hey, guys, in the chat, Tiffany is my daughter. Okay, so don't say nothing mean to my daughter in the chat. Okay, right? And Tiffany will be streaming here tomorrow, right? So don't say nothing mean to my daughter. That, if you don't know, she's my daughter. That is my daughter that's in the room, right? That got the wrench. So just to clear that up, because some of y'all might not know, right? So she's a little bit younger. She may have some different views than we do, right? So please be respectful. That's all I asked. All right, go ahead, Rose.
You know, you've been all over the place tonight, Dolly, and I appreciate that about you. And, you know, it's important to look at things from all sides. But no matter who did it or what the conspiracy was, it's murder. And we need to start thinking about, hey, this was murder. What is the law in our country about murder? You understand what I'm trying to say here?
No, but I get the point, Rose. People shouldn't be killing people. We need more love in this world and not so much hate. And
why can't we sit across the table from one another and just hammer it out?
Because some people come to the table with weapons. People try to sit across and talk to you, but some people don't want to hear it and they get mad. And
speaking of weapons, I want to speak about, I believe, Charlie, there was one video I watched, Dolly, that really kind of made a lot of sense to me. When I look at the video of him being shot, which you graciously shared, on your Facebook, his first, when that shot happened, you see the front of his body pop up like he just got hit by something. If you replay that, you'll see what I'm saying. His front body popped up, and then there was that hole in his throat. So I think there is something to the story about he did have some armor on, and some of those edges are beveled. So he popped up from the front first, is where I think he got shot, and then it ripples affected.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Some people are saying, that he may have had a vest on, and some people are saying he didn't. I mean, I don't quite know. I believe the police said he didn't have one on. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a gunshot expert. It was brutal. It's hard to see, to see the bullet hit him.
It's hard to see, but I choose to watch it because I want to figure out what happened. And when I watch it, it matches up with him having a front plate on with a beveled edge, that he got hit in the front first. When you see his body pop up from that chair, the first visual is his body pops up, and then you see blood and stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm being very graphic. But God bless Charlie Kirk. Come on, peeps. Let this be a turning point. Isn't that the name of his channel or something? It's about murder. Someone was murdered.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah. All right, Rose. You be good. I will talk to you next time.
Thank you for your patience.
You're welcome, Rose. You be good. Stay safe. Peace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, people are saying right here that he didn't have body armor on. Jim Survival. He didn't have body armor. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm not a gunshot expert. I seen what appeared to be the side of his neck just start squirting blood like a horror movie. And I don't know, I don't think it was a big conspiracy, right? It appears to be one shot was fired. So we know it wasn't multiple shooters. Okay. So it wasn't like somebody shot from the grassy knoll, right? There was one shot fired. And we do have a video of a young man running on the roof with something wrapped up in a towel, which we can say, hey, most likely that's the 30-06 or the rifle that he had in his hand. He did jump from a building. A normal person wouldn't jump off the building. To me, I wonder why he was able to walk into the building without being stopped by security, no student ID or anything like that, and be able to get to the roof and access the roof without nobody knowing there's somebody on the roof. Okay. Like a lot of roof accesses usually have a fire alarm on them to where if you go out them, it lets off a fire alarm. I remember my high school was like that. If you went out on the roof exit of the high school, because I took acting techniques in high school, it was like a give you credit, right? Where you did just give you an easy class, so they can graduate you and get your ass out of school. So I took acting techniques, and it would take you up onto where the light racks were in the auditorium, So a lot of, being on a stage, doing little plays and stuff like that. But you could go up on the catwalk, and it had an access that led you to the roof of the building. But if you open that roof, it set off the fire alarm, right, at the school. So, I mean, I don't know why this guy was able to do this. And why did he jump off the roof? Don't you think that would draw more attention to you than if he would have just turned around, walked back down the exit, walked back out the building, that people may not have paid him as much attention? But leaping off that roof, and then they got all this on video, but nobody did nothing, right? And then you got this old man causing a scene in the crowd, And we got him basically talking to people on Discord. And where did this weapon come from? Who purchased this weapon? Did he carry this weapon to there? Did he carry it there prior to the shooting? Right? That morning, it looked like he was wearing shorts. Did he go there and scout it out and go, okay, yeah, I can get in here. I can do this. Did he plan this last minute? And it was just one of those things where, believe it or not, he was successful. We can look at a million lapses in security here, right? Security failed. The police failed. Campus security failed. And Charlie Kirk's security team failed. If any three of them people would have been on their game, Charlie Kirk would still be here today. And I can understand you want to be out in public and you want people to see you, but they can see you from behind glass. Look at the Pope. And you would think nobody would want to hurt the Pope, right? But you see, the Pope mobile is bulletproof, right? And that's the damn Pope. You would think who in their right mind would want to hurt the Pope? But people try to assassinate the Pope. So he has to ride around in a bulletproof. Why not have just facing you? Why didn't he just sit behind a glass? He knows he's a controversial figure, and people would be like, Dolly, he's not controversial. Listen, if people hate you, they consider you controversial. You may not consider that person controversial, but the people that don't like them do. And you got to remember, our country's divided. So for half the country that likes Charlie Kirk, there's another half that can't stand his ass. And as you see right now, some of them people are not good people, and they're celebrating this man's death. Now, there's people on the left that are mourning Charlie Kirk's death. They know it's wrong. They're like, man, this is a human life. I'm not trying to say that everybody on their side is bad. That is absolutely not true. There, like I said in the beginning, there's bad amongst no matter what group you in, even in religion or churches, or if you join the fucking Boy Scouts, there's bad Boy Scouts. Okay. There's bad people in everything that we do. And on every side, there's extremists in everything. We just got to keep praying for his family and make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Okay, I'm going to open the phone lines. You know, I got a rant between each call. Okay. And I just kind of touch in. Here we go. Dolly.
Yeah.
What up, Doug?
Hey, the problem is, brother, is respect for this world.
I think that's the key thing is people lack respect for human life. That's it.
And
how do we fix that though, Doug? How do we fix that?
Well, you got to have family. It starts in the family.
I agree. I agree too.
And this world went to hell when the internet took effect.
You think so? You think it's the internet's fault that it made it way worse? I think you might be right. That's the scary thing. I think you're right. The internet does play a big factor into spreading propaganda.
Yes, sir.
So,
and children, I'm telling you, children under the age of 21 or 18 should not be allowed on the internet whatsoever.
Yeah, but this young man was over that age. I mean, he could have been doctrinized or brainwashed later. It don't take really that long to.
But it starts when they're children.
I know. You have
That's why we have all these school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Because these kids get on the internet and they talk about it, they uphold it, but the kids, when you're a child, you have no mental capacity to deal with the internet.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't think little kids should be on the internet. Not at all.
18-year-old, you gotta be at least 18 before you ever get on it.
I mean, that, you know, there's a lot of people that don't let their kids have internet access. I mean, there's a large, I wouldn't say large, but there's a lot of people that still, like you said, don't let their kids on the internet because they don't see nothing good on the internet.
But there's a lot of kids that get on the internet their parents don't even know about.
And they're watching crazy ass things too. Like,
And
blow your
you got
mind.
that right.
So
Some of that TikTok shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's violent.
And desensitizing kids to violence. Like, violence should be shocking to you. You should be like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But people ain't like that anymore. They can believe it. And they're not even surprised by it.
When we were growing up, the Nintendo come out. And see, I remember Soul Train. That's how old I am. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember Soul Train.
Okay.
What was the do with the beard? The DJ guy. I'll think of it in a minute. Go ahead.
But whenever video games come out,
Wolfman Jack. That's what I was thinking of. Remember Wolfman Jack?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when Nintendo come out, you had Donkey Kong, you had Miss Pac-Man.
I thought Pac-Man was
now you got video games where you can pick up prostitutes, where you can shoot people, where you can attack people.
Yes. Grand
Theft Auto. You can murder a whole group. You can get a whole group together and attack people.
Yeah, I know games are pretty violent these days. I agree with you, but I don't want to blame nothing on video games or music. I think you got to have enough sense to know that that's just entertainment. Like, because when I was a kid, I listened to like some of the most like crazy, what you would say are satanic bands, but I was never a Satanist. I just listened to it as entertainment. So, I mean, you got to be able to separate entertainment from reality at the same point, you know, just like horror movies. They're gory and bloody and people getting murdered. But I realized that's entertainment. That ain't real life.
But nowadays, kids on the internet, when you're 10, 11-year-old and you're watching that stuff, it sinks into your head.
Yeah.
And you get on the internet, you can take a gun and you can shoot somebody, and it looks cool. You're
cool.
The
video games. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And so they're taking video games and making it into reality.
Well, they should make video games where you got to be 18 to buy the game. You know, and that would solve some of that. Now they do rate the games, like, but they'll still. You could be 10 years old and go buy Grand Theft Auto. They don't care. And they should. You shouldn't be able to get those games without your parent, you know, but then you got parents that'll buy it for their kids anyway. But they should stop people from getting these certain video games until they're 18 years old, especially when they cannot distinguish a video game from reality.
And right from wrong.
Yeah, now I enjoy playing all these games. Like I play Call of Duty, I play Fortnite, and you got to remember, you got little kids, like 5 years old, running around in Fortnite in the video game, you know, with firearms. You know, it's weird, but you're right. They shouldn't be playing it, but they are. And these video game companies are modeling these games to kids because you can do it as a teddy bear. Okay, you can do it as a Lego man. You can run around and shoot other players in the video games as a Lego man, as Ronald McDonald, as Bigfoot. You can be anything you want to be, and it's like they make it for kids. I hate to say that. I play it, but it's modeled for kids to want to play it. And look at all these. It's one of the biggest video games in the world, at Fortnite.
But when you went to school, the way some of these children disrespect teachers, they disrespect police officers, they disrespect their mom and daddies, it's gone.
Yeah. Even me and Tiff play Fortnite together. Father-daughter Fortnite. So it happens. We ain't played in a while. We do need to play, Tiff.
But I'm just saying, disrespect of people.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen children on this internet talk to cops like they were nothing.
Oh, I've heard kids say some of the craziest, especially when you play video games and you're in these video game lobbies. Some of these kids have the nastiest mouths that I ever heard. And you know, that's all learned behavior. It's all learned behavior.
Right.
So apparently somebody...
It starts at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Morals and values.
The family life has been destroyed.
Yeah, the old school family life has been destroyed. It ain't the Brady Bunch era anymore. Definitely not. It's more Shameless. Have you ever seen Shameless?
Yeah.
It's more like Shameless than the Brady Bunch now.
And it's the disrespectful you are, the more people like you.
I don't know if that's the case. It depends what people you're trying to get to like you.
Like these people on there that's celebrating this man's death like it's something.
It's horrible.
And if they would take this guy in public and do the same thing that he done to Charlie Kirk, they would stop a lot of this. They would stop a lot of it.
Yeah.
You have public execution is going to have to come back in style. And people will stop doing this. Well, if I do this, they're going to shoot me. They're going to shoot me just like I did them.
Absolutely, you might be right there, Doug. But look, hey, I appreciate you calling in.
And tell PJ Doug said hello, and I ain't talked to you in a while.
All right, I will. All right, you be good, Doug.
Later.
All right, peace. Yeah, I don't want to blame Marilyn Manson. Okay, I don't want to blame video games for somebody not being mentally well. Okay, what's going on in this 22-year-old boy's mind? I don't understand, and we maybe will never understand why he did this. But apparently, you know, he was in a relationship with another man, and he didn't like hearing what he heard, and he acted out instead of being an adult and debating and discussing and trying to come to a common ground with an individual. He got a weapon and he shut that person up. I bet our Dolly gets upset if you're not doing good at Fortnite. Tiff's good. Me and Tiff together are really good at Fortnite. We be getting dubs, okay? We don't be playing, we be winning. You don't want none of us. I haven't played in a little while. I'm probably pretty damn rusty, to be honest. But when me and Tiff would play regularly, we did pretty damn good. All right. So I've always ran with a good squad in Fortnite, and I've always played these games. You know, these violent games. Every one, even back to the game Quarantine, where you were a cab driver and you could, you know, ride around and rob people and stuff like that. Grand Theft Auto, I played it. Not a big Grand Theft Auto fan, but all these crazy games I played, all this crazy music in the world, from gangster rap to Slayer, Cannibal Corpse type stuff, for anybody knows. I've never thought of more of it than entertainment. I never wanted to hurt anybody. Listen, I'm into horror movies, gore movies, serial killers, right? Love GTA and Red Dead Redemption. And I like all these macabre, strange things. And I've never wanted to hurt anybody. Never. I've always been able to separate that stuff from, like, I know it's a movie. Like I tell people all the time, I'm not scared of like Freddy Krueger or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm scared of real people. Like somebody that may live on my block that looks like a normal dude that you wouldn't never think would hurt anybody. Them are always the psychos, right? It's the average looking Joe, somebody that looked like you could trust. It's never the crazy looking people with tattoos and stuff, unless you Wade Wilson, right? That dude was a little creepy. But usually it ain't that. It's usually normal people that look like decent, everyday church going folks. They're usually the axe murderers and the killers. It's always, you ever notice on every news story, I can't believe he did that. I never would have thought this person was a serial killer. Or it's always those people. It ain't you. You never hear nobody on the news be like, man, I knew the whole damn time he was a killer. I knew he was going to chop people up. I just knew it. I knew he was strange. You never hear that, right? So the scariest people are the people that you think you can trust. You know, like, and so a lot of people will blame, you know, Columbine was blamed on like Marilyn Manson. These kids listen to Marilyn Manson. Well, you know what? They may have listened to Marilyn Manson, but they were screwed up. The West Memphis 3 listened to Metallica and Slayer. And now, you know, that was my day. I was just like the West Memphis 3. Same kind of dress like them, listen to the same music as them. And when they did what they did, I knew they did it. I knew they did it. And, you know, right now they're walking free. That will set me off. I cannot. And it was bad because, you know, they say they were railroaded because of the music they listened to, and they were out. Listen, I grew up with long hair listening to Slayer too. Nobody blamed me for murders. Okay. I cannot stand them people. And some of y'all may in here sympathize with the West Memphis 3 because you watched the HBO documentary that made them look innocent, right? But you're going to need more than a documentary from me when you got people like Marilyn Manson paying for your legal team, right? All these Hollywood actors that are damn satanic as can be, the real Satanists in this world, defending you. I don't know. You think the stepdad did it? See, that's HBO right there. That's HBO. You believe that because of HBO. Because they made a really cool documentary. These people are murderers. They're child killers. They should never, ever been on the street. They said things since they were locked up that innocent people wouldn't say. And listen, you know what's worse than the dude that killed Charlie Kirk? People that kill kids. Okay? These kids that these people killed, they wasn't controversial. They didn't even grow old enough to have an opinion. Them dudes are monsters. And you know, the dude says he gets out, the first thing he does is write a book on the occult. Damian Nichols. Oh my God. What? To me, right? And like I said, I was a kid just like them. Just like them. But I knew. Because I hung out with people that really believed the stuff that like these bands were saying. As to me, like I said, I've always been able to know it's entertainment. Jimmy played Ludwig drums. Old school, right? Old school. Now I had a set of pearls, actually. And then I had a set of Tama drums. But I knew because I hung out with this one dude. Now he's atheist, but when we were kids, he swore he was satanic. And you know, I don't know if y'all are familiar with bands like Morbid Angel and like Nuclear Death, and there was a lot of like wannabe satanic bands that they used this to sell records. Let's just say that it was a gimmick. Okay. There's all these gimmick bands, you know, now that, you know, it's a gimmick, but at the time they're marketing this evil stuff to kids, right? Even me, I listened to it, grew up listening to it, but I listened to all kinds of music. I listened to like skater thrash to Michael Jackson. You know, I had a wide variety of music from gangster rap to death metal. Right. But I knew these kids that were acting like they were satanic. Let me just say it like that. They were acting like satanic. One dude I knew was breaking into churches every night. Okay. In high school, he'd go break into a church. Right. And God knows what he was doing in these churches. But I remember he got arrested and they arrested him for breaking into like 50 churches. Right. And he was breaking into churches, stealing shit. And he would go out every night just breaking into churches, just random churches, and you know, he'd be listening to some whatever death metal he listened to all kind of crazy death metal though. And I still know this dude to this day. Now he's not a Satanist. It was a phase he went through as a teenager. He does claim to be atheist, right? But he don't he's not a Satanist, and he's a grown ass man. It's kind of hard to be that dumb as a grown. I mean, he's pretty dumb. Don't get me wrong. He's still dumb, right? But he ain't that dumb. He ain't that dumb anymore. So, I just knew they were guilty. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I could just tell. And of course the story at their alibis and how, what is it? Jesse Miss Kelly confessed and the things. And it was like, in their weird relationship these guys had with each other, I thought they were sleeping together as teenagers, because normal teenagers don't act like that. I've had a lot of best friends, right? And my best friend's still my best friend to this day. We don't act like that. We didn't act like that. We were close, brothers close. We wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And they went to prison. The only thing they were worried about was seeing each other. I was like, I'd be worried about getting out, you know? And they had this weird romantic type friendship that I just didn't, you know, and then you got that guy sitting there looking like the dude from the fucking Cure. He just carried himself real feminine, right? And you know, in that era, it wasn't as accepted as it is today, right? Listen, like I said, today people don't care what your sexuality is. I think the biggest problem people have is you pushing your sexuality on people. But I don't care what you do in your bedroom. You can sleep with anybody you want to sleep with. I wouldn't have no problem with you. Man, woman, whatever you decide, man and women at the same time. Don't bother me. Don't faze me none. It's when you try to push that shit on me that now you're making it about me, right? If not, I wouldn't even care. But like I said, during the West Memphis 3, that shit wasn't really accepted really well. And I think they had a little bit of a romance going on, and that was always stood out to me as a teenager. I was like, listen, I hang out with a lot of teenage dudes because I'm a teenage kid while this is going on. I was like, well, teenagers don't act like this. So, and even to this day, I talk about people's behavior, right? Because we talk a lot about missing kids and murdered kids here, and behavior to me is a huge clue. Okay. Like you don't got to have a lot of evidence. I think if your behavior is a certain way, that really tells us all we need to know. Right. I'm a strong believer in that, but I got way off track with the whole West Memphis 3. They had a bromance. Kiki said, there you go. That's a good way to look at it. And we don't need to be letting murderers out of prison like the Menendez brothers. You know, basically denied you ain't getting out. You shot your mother in the face. Okay. You unloaded a shotgun into your mother and daddy when you was 18 years old. Now, I do think that the boys were abused. I do. You know, I used not to think it, right? But, you know, the more as I got older, I've started to see some of the stuff in it, that some of their argument in it. And I do think they were abused. But what I also think led them to do this was not the abuse, but greed. Okay? If you was abused, you could have got away from them. You were 18 years old. You could have left. Other brother was even older. But as soon as you murder your parents, you go out and buy Porsches and Rolex watches and start flying around the world. The thing is this. Yes, the children were abused. They were abusing each other. The older brother sexually assaulted the younger brother. Apparently the father was messing with both of the brothers. But when they were grown men, they didn't have to live with their parents anymore. They could have got away from them. But for you that don't know, they were watching a Millionaires Boys Club, and it was about unaliving people and taking their money. And they believed that their parents were going to write them out the will. So they went and killed their parents brutally. Planned it, plotted it, and carried it out and lied about the murders. And there's people out here that believe they should be free. No. What should have happened was the father should have went to jail. Okay? The father should have went to jail for messing with his kids. The mother shouldn't have been shot in the face. The father probably shouldn't have been shot in the face. He should have been in jail. And they should have moved out. Not let out of prison. Right? It's one of those things. Like, yeah, you should have told and got your dad locked up. But y'all didn't want to get him locked up. Y'all wanted his money. Y'all didn't want him punished. You wanted him dead and to spend his money. Because you knew if you told on him, he was never going to give you nothing. So it was greed. It was greed. When it all came down to it, it was greed. Now, was the dad a piece of crap? Yeah, he was a piece of shit. But it goes into that, like Tiff said earlier, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Now, I know Tiff is going to be up here streaming with you guys tomorrow. I don't know what she's streaming about. I know it won't be nothing political, right? So she better have some true crime plan for tomorrow. But Tiff is going to be taking over the channel tomorrow. And so when y'all get on the Dolly train, Tiff is trying to get money to go to a concert. So if y'all want to donate and jump on the Tiff train tomorrow, she's trying to go to some damn concert. I don't know. But I told her she can take over the channel tomorrow and she can come up here and she can do true crime. All right. And whatever people donate to the channel, she can have to go towards her concert. All right. So y'all get Tiffany tomorrow, my little protege. We ain't the same. Okay. We ain't the same. She has her own little mind. All right. She has her own little mind. And, but I'm sure y'all will, she'll come up with something good and she'll have a good time. She's done good at taking over the channel for me every time she has. You are so pretty, Tiffany. Badali BTS concert. I don't know nothing about BTS. I don't know nothing about it. Okay. I have no clue about these Korean bands or anything like that. Yes, Tiffany works a full-time job. She has a car payment, or pays her rent and everything. And I just told her, you're going to have to do something. I made her work this weekend. I made her work this weekend. She went with me to her and Breon. I made her and her friend work this weekend. They did Sunday at the crime convention for me. And they did good. They did good at selling tumblers and soaps. And yeah, I put her to work. You got to teach kids. You can't give them everything, right? You got to make them work for a little bit. Right? Hopefully she don't kill me. Okay. Because I think that's the whole Menendez brothers thing. The father wanted them to work for their money and they didn't like that. And they basically shot him with a shotgun. So Tiff, don't kill me. Okay. It builds character to make you earn it instead of just giving it to you. And I truly believe that. Like, make them earn it, work for it a little bit and they'll appreciate it more. If somebody just gives you something every time, you become to expect it, right? You want something from me, then you're gonna earn it. Now I ain't gonna work, do nothing crazy. It's my daughter, I ain't gonna make her do nothing crazy hard, but she does have to pull her weight, right? She has to pull her weight. So Tiff will thank you one day. I know she will, right? And she's a hard worker now. She never misses work. She's never late. She's good on her bills. She's been a good kid. So we don't want her to become on a rooftop somewhere. So we try to raise her right. Okay. We try to raise her right. Appreciate the value of money, that money just don't grow on trees. I've been working since I was 16. Okay. Yeah, you have. Tiff got her first job and when she's a teenager and she's been working every day since. So I am proud of that. She's a hard worker. She wouldn't take out the trash for me the other day though. I'm a little mad about that. I was like, all right, bag that trash up that's under the table. Tiff was like, that ain't in my job description. So we got to make sure we get your job description right. All right, listen, guys, I got to get out here. Love you, Tiff. I'll see you tomorrow. And guys, just remember, if nobody else loves you, Dolly does. And be good, stay safe. And I will see you guys maybe tomorrow morning before Tiff takes over. I don't know how long she's going to be streaming tomorrow, but y'all look forward to it, right? Tiff better come up with some good true crime. All right. Later, guys.